I will not be under 200 pounds. I have not been under 200 pounds since I was about 19. Folks, you gotta laugh, man. I mean, you gotta laugh. Welcome aboard to this post game commentary and discussion. I am gonna open the lines tonight. I want to hear from you. Oh Lord, I don't know that I have enough energy. I got energy, but I want to hear from y'all. I really do. Welcome aboard to those of you who jumped on board from Ben Daniel. I appreciate him as always. I'll be real. I got off after halftime. That was one of the worst basketball games I've seen. I mean, it was what 34-30 at halftime. Was it 34-30 at halftime? Oh, by the way, welcome back everyone to another edition of Rudy's Rant. Powered by Come On Now, the podcast. What is it? 34-30 at halftime. I'm going to open the lines. Don't worry. I'm going to get my commentary in here. Between the missed layups, the dumb fouls, the bad rotations in terms of substitutions, and an ultimate collapse in the fourth quarter. Please stop blaming referees. The Sparks had more fouls called than the Fever. The free throws were exactly the same. In fact, the Fever were 22 of 28 and the Sparks were 21 of 28. Folks, this team is just not very good. Stephanie White has a 71-71 game. Again, another 10-point fourth quarter lead blown. The offense falls apart once again. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to do it. They make dumbass mistakes. And this is even against a Sparks team that looked like certifiable freshman level basketball in high school in the first half. 19 turnovers by the Sparks, and yet they still managed to overcome a 10-point fourth quarter lead on the road to improve to 5-11 with an 85-75 win over the Indiana Fever. The Fever are now 4-4 at home, 7-8 overall. They got to hop on a plane tonight to head to Dallas. They're going to lose that game too. Yeah, they're going to lose that game. They're going to lose that game. They're going to lose to the coach with a man bun. Did I just come from bowling? No, I did not. I was out working. I never changed. I'm still in my work clothes. I had a lunch meeting that actually didn't pan out, and I ended up working for Starbucks all day. Fever have now lost to the Sparks, to the Wizards, not to Wizards, to the Mystics, to the Sun. They got 3 losses right now to teams with a sub 500 record out of their 8 losses. I don't know if the Valkyries were under 500 when they played them. I don't recall. Maybe they were 500 or right below. Dallas is going to beat Dallas has a 1-game winning streak. They're going to beat Indiana tomorrow. This team has to hop on a plane. They're going to have 1,000 built-in excuses. And what you have here is a team that doesn't know how to finish a game, as has been the case. They've led a double-digit lead. They've led in the fourth quarter of the last 4 games and lost 3 of them. Welcome aboard, Retro, Mike, Jordan, Pete Ayers, Johnny Smell, Tina, Dexter, Iceman, Lisa, TJ, Philip, Duke, LeVar, Marlon, Calvin, Ciganzo, LA337, the Blue Raven, Johnny Doe, Pretty Noel Girl, it's Cliff Kessler, DJ Jeff H, It's not a bowling shirt. This is a freaking Fashion Nova shirt, folks. Come on now. um, Nvidia. Yeah, this was you give up 35 points in the fourth quarter. You get outscored 35-17 on your home court in the fourth quarter. Fuck, give them grace. This is some horse shit. Let's just look at this from a perspective of the fact that they were up 58-50 in the fourth quarter, starting the fourth quarter. Uh, uh, my wife bought me this shirt. This is actually in fashion. I'm just saying, man. I mean, maybe Bill Huxtable, Cliff Huxtable did wear this in the '82 as well, but I guess it came back just like the tight ass shorts that the dudes wear now. Once again, it's actually very comfortable. Let's see here. So they're up 60-50 with 9:26 left, and from that point, Stephanie White does not stop the clock until they're trailing 67-66. 17-6 run. If you bet $8,000 on fucking Indiana tonight, I'm presuming that's a parlay. I cannot imagine that you bet $8,000 in this team. I would hope to God not. But they got a 17-6 run. Indiana does not stop the clock. Stephanie White does not call a timeout. She just lets it go. Kelsey Plum hits a 27-foot three-point shot to give the Sparks the lead at 67-66. Kelsey Mitchell's on her, and she backs up off her after she's picked up the dribble. Defensively, this team is embarrassing. Welcome aboard UTV, Adrian E., Paul DeWeese, Black Thrashian. She backs up off her and lets her shoot it wasn't even a good shot by Kelsey Plum, but she backed off her. She had to shoot it. She shoots it. She drills it. They got the lead. That's when Stephanie White calls timeout with 4:11 left. And what do the Fever do immediately thereafter? They shoot a three. Bad shot. You knew that was coming. Kelsey Mitchell does her thing. She shoots a bad three. Kelsey Plum gets fouled, makes both free throws, and then they tie the game. Let's see here. Yeah, they go up three. Aaliyah Boston hits a couple free throws. Azare then hits a 3-foot layup. Ari McDonald drives, hits the bucket. Kelsey Plum commits a terrible foul. McDonald hits the free throw, ties the game. It's 71-71. Sparks call timeout. And you basically have a 3-minute game. And from that point on, Indiana gets outscored 14-4 in the final 3 minutes of the game. 14-4. 14-4 to that team. I know I thought LA would be good. I know I've said that. I know I was very, very emphatic about it. They're not. They're devastated by injuries as well. Before people say, "Oh, well, Caitlin didn't play," well, the Sparks are missing Ray Burrell, Odyssey Sims, and Cameron Brink. They're missing a lot. They have a lot missing from their lineup. Off of a timeout, they run a curl play for Rickea Jackson, who gets an easy layup. She beats Lexi Hull. And what does Kelsey Mitchell do again? She shoots a terrible three. It's almost like you can predict this shit. The basketball IQ of this team is fucking atrocious. Atrocious basketball IQ. You're down 2. Why are you jacking another fucking three? Kelsey Mitchell, why are you jacking another fucking three? How many bad threes does Kelsey Mitchell have to take? You're down 2. Why are you jacking a three? Rickea Jackson grabs the rebound. Kelsey Plum gets and this one, then Kelsey Plum gets a layup off of Kelsey Mitchell, who's guarding her. Kelsey Plum literally can only go one direction. She's left-handed. And for some reason, Kelsey Mitchell jumps out on her right hand, which creates an easy scoop layup shot that gives them a 4-point lead. And it's now 75-71. McDonald gets fouled again. A really dumb foul by Dearica Hamby, 30 feet from the basket. She has 2 free. They're in the bonus. What would I do with this team as of right now to help it? Oh, we'll get there. Blow the whole thing up. That's where I would start. I would be firing and cutting and removing. I'd be removing people. Kelsey Mitchell then fouls Kelsey Plum. I know people may say, "Oh my God, that Kelsey Mitchell bailed Kelsey Plum out." You got to get out of this mindset. I don't know what it is in the woman mindset in basketball that putting your hands up means that you're not fouling. No, you dumb fucking idiots. You fucking idiots, stop pushing your body into her. Kelsey Plum is driving to the rim. You bailed her the fuck out. You literally put your body right into her while she was in the flipping air, you stupid imbecile. Like the IQ is so bad. It's so bad. She makes both free throws. They're up 4. Leah Boston hits a freaking layup. It's 2. The jump ball. And then the rebounding barrage happens in the final minute. The Indiana Fever got absolutely punked on the glass in the final 60 seconds. You may not like Natasha Howard, but the inability to box out by Sophie Cunningham in the final 60 seconds cost them 4 points. 5 points? Sophie Cunningham does not box out. She just stands there. She doesn't box out. Basic fundamental basketball. Rickea Jackson misses a shot. Cunningham doesn't box out Dearica Hamby. Puts the bucket in. Hamby then misses the free throw. Azurá Stevens splits Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull. Cunningham is closest to the rim. Does not put a fucking body on her. Layup. Bucket. Free throw. Foul. Stephanie White, will you put the big back in the fucking game, you moron? You're at the free throw line, back-to-back possessions. Put the big back in the game. I don't care if Natasha Howard is trash in people's opinions. You put her back in the game to box out to get a damn rebound. 9 Divine 16. Unsubscribe, motherfucker. Bye. Bye. You can't take cursing. You listen to Ben Daniel curse for 3.5 fucking hours. You clown. Get the fuck out. Go hang out with Stephanie White and DeWanna DeQuitter Bonner. Go do it. Get the fuck out of here. Box out. Basic fundamentals. A moron coach who doesn't put a damn big in on a free throw to grab a rebound. This is ridiculous. You got to get off this channel and unsubscribe. You can't take the curse and the name call and make the team look stupid. The team is stupid. The coach is stupid. The owner is stupid. The GM is stupid. Do you not know dick about basketball? Are you not watching? When you are on the free throw line, you need the ball. They could not box out. They played small and they paid for it. Remember, everybody, I've been saying over and over again, you need bigs. You need bigs. You need bigs. You need size. You need size. Guess what happened? Azurá Stevens is 6'6". Dearica Hamby 6'3", 6'4". Guess what else? Rickea Jackson is a 6'2" wing. Who else was on the court with them? Who else was on the floor? It was Kelsey Plum. Who was the 5th player on the floor? Shea Petty. Don't even know who the fuck that is. Like, that's where we are. Don't even know who the fuck that is. You couldn't box out for an entire minute. There's no size on this team. They can't play small if they can't box out. And Sophie Cunningham is looking around like, girl, put your ass into her and box her out. I'm going to hell. Join me. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Oh, my God. Support the team. Blind support. Give the blind support. You want to blind support clowns? Go blind support them. I know they cannot be criticized. They cannot be criticized. You have no big in the game. And you want to know what happened? What did Stephanie White do? What did Stephanie White do? She puts Natasha Howard in the game after they jumped this lead to 8. 82-75. What does she do? She puts Natasha Howard in the game at 83-75 with Kelsey Plum at the free throw line. Oh, little bit too late. It's a little too late. And you put her in to box out now? Stephanie White is a clown. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing either. Ridiculous. This shit's embarrassing. They lose 85-75. If you don't like, thank you, David Weiss. 9 Divine 16. I'd love to see what 9 Divine 16 looks like. Is that a man or a woman? If that's a man, give your man card up, you fucking weasel. If you're a woman, then you don't belong here either, I guess. I'm sorry. Real women belong here. Softies like you, go watch someone else who doesn't want to cuss. Go watch someone else who wants to glaze the lack of reality here. Go watch whatever you want to. Go watch one of the freaking Angel Reese podcasts. Go watch one of them. Go watch anybody. Don't sit here and complain about Rudy's rant. You ain't been here. You subscribed and have you watched one of my videos yet? Thank you, SH. Trade KM and picks for Plum since she cares more about the other team players and is a career loser. Johannesson trade for Howard. Hey, I'm not arguing anything right now. I'd be open to all of it. I'd be open to all of it. Pope, they have no other big. They have no size. They decided that it was not a problem to be small. They went and they go get Ari McDonald. Thank you. If it wasn't for Ari McDonald, they'd have been blown the fuck out of this game by 25. It's amazing. If Ari McDonald wasn't there, they'd have been blown out by 25. Where's Aaliyah Boston? 12 points, 10 rebounds. You need 30. You need to be putting up 30, Aaliyah. Pope, I wish you would have demanded that DeWanna Bonner come on your podcast. I would have loved to have seen if she had come on your podcast. I thought that would have been a trip. The small ball lineup, though, at a certain point, it doesn't work. They shot 36.5% for the game. The game was 34-30 at halftime. Game's 34-30 at halftime. The game's 34. I mean, the first half was some of the worst basketball I've ever seen. And even in Ben's show, everyone was dying. It was brutal. DeJohn Anthony, there's no way that 9 Divine 16 is a freaking member of a sorority or a fraternity, because that would be embarrassing. They hurt a whole lot worse. Please. This shit's ridiculous. So now you're 7-8, and you got to get on a plane and go fly your asses to Dallas. Oh, by the way, did I mention Caitlin Clark didn't play? Shit. Did I mention that? I forgot. Did I mention that? Caitlin Clark didn't play, right? I could have swore that. Why? Yeah, they have the money to sign a big now. Why didn't they sign a big yesterday? Like, I don't understand. What are they waiting for? What are they waiting for to sign a big? This team shot 36.5%. You can go small for a period. You can't go small the entire game. You can't go small the whole game. They shot 36.5% and 25% from three. They had a good third quarter and completely fell apart in the fourth once again. I don't know what that is in the video. I don't know. That's crazy. But go get a big. What are you waiting on? The season's not getting any shorter. They played Michaela Timpson for 5 minutes, I guess. Were people happy? I don't know. This team has no depth now. Zero. Team had 13 total assists. Ridiculous. They're going to get smoked tomorrow in Dallas. Oh, I didn't say that Turner played well. I just said they played her. Host said, I don't have to tell you. They, whatever. Whatever. The Fever are going to get smoked tomorrow. Watch Paige Beckers go for 30 on their ass. Wouldn't shock me. How much are the tickets going for tomorrow? I'm wondering if I'm even gonna watch the game because I might go somewhere because I have a life and I'm tired of watching this trash every fucking day. By the way, folks, hit the like button if you're here. Appreciate you jumping on board. Y'all remember when I said that they brought Caitlin Clark back too fast? Y'all remember that? I'm just curious. People debated me on that one. I'm gonna be here on Sunday. Can someone by the way, can someone put Caitlin Clark in the fucking suite upstairs in a suite? Get her off the fucking bench. If I see Caitlin Clark bitching and complaining on the fucking sideline, again, I'm gonna fucking lose it. Get off the sideline. Get off the fucking sideline. Please, God. Get her off the sideline. Stick her ass in a fucking suite so she can sit her ass away from everybody and not be getting up, walking the fuck around. She has a fucking pulled groin. She has a pulled groin. Any of y'all ever pulled a groin? Strained a groin muscle? It hurts to walk. There was a point where she's screaming at the referees again, and the coaches are right there. It's like, yo, can you sit the fuck down? Sit the fuck down. I've had a pulled groin. This shit fucking hurts like hell. And you don't get back in one fucking day. You don't get back in one day. They better not put her on the plane to fucking Dallas. She can be herself. Go put her in a suite. So I'm saying she can be herself. Go put her ass in a suite. I think she's hurt. I think she's absolutely hurt. I've always been saying she's hurt. I never thought she got healthy. Never thought she was healthy. They brought her back too damn fast. She had a game of adrenaline against the Liberty, lit it up. I don't agree with you, Pope. I don't agree with you. I don't agree with that. She was never hurt. Okay. So she was never hurt in the preseason. She didn't strain her quad, and now she's just sitting out to sit out. Okay. I don't know. I don't agree with that. I pulled my groin playing football. Screw that, man. That shit hurt like hell. They better not even put her in the plane to freaking Dallas tomorrow. They better not put her on the plane. If she plays tomorrow, y'all, please. I absolutely believe she's hurt. I believe she was hurt, and I believe she still is hurt. I don't hear that. She is too much of a damn competitor to sit on the sideline. She can't make a jump shot. She can't lift off the ground. She can't get by anybody. She can't even defend a parked car right now. Like, folks, seriously, Look. We all keep it real when it comes to her defense. She's a liability defensively. It doesn't mean Pope. Come on, man. All the walking around. She's gonna walk. She can't run. But I'd rather her just sit the hell down. She shouldn't be on the plane. That's another point of the WNBA. When you are injured in the NBA, you do not travel with teams. You stay your ass at home and you get freaking Pope. Yes. Yes. I think she had a massive adrenaline dump there. She felt good for a day. She felt good for a day or two. And now this shit's hurting again. It's hurting again. I mean, come on, bro. You can't. So she just decided she don't want to play. Is what you're saying, Pope? Come on, bro. I'm gonna open the lineup, bro. Let's go. You want to jump on, bro? Because I want you to say what you gotta say. Because nah, there's no way. I will not agree with that at all. You're telling me that the ultimate competitor of Caitlin Clark is gonna decide that she's not gonna play because of what? For what reason would she not play? There's the line. Y'all want to jump on in? Y'all jump on in. There's the link. Jump on in. You want to jump on in, folks? Let's jump on. Let's talk about this because she should stay her ass in Indiana. She should have sat her ass till today. You can drop 32 and still be hurt, man. I agree with you, Ben. Benjamin Smith. You can still drop. Like, you can have a great game and be hurt. And then you know what? Guess what? It starts creeping back up because it never got healthy. It never was healthy. When she fell at the end of that Seattle game, when she tripped over the ball, because she tripped over the ball, you could see she literally went to grab her groin immediately. She's injured. She has no lift. She has no burst. She can't get around anyone defensively. We can critique her defensively. We can be genuine about it. She's not the greatest on the ball defensive player, right? We all know this. I think we would all agree with this. If you've been watching, she's worse right now. Like she's not even moving. She's not even moving. What's going on, Dejan?
Hey, can you hear me, Rudy?
I can hear you. Go ahead, man. What are your thoughts?
Oh gosh, the volume is kind of low. I'm not gonna be on that long because I'm at work. But I was watching the game, and it's like the deal is, it's like what's funny about this Indiana team is that we're seeing, you know, even it doesn't matter if Clark is playing or not. Their inability to hold a lead is some of the most head scratching ever. And when I discuss with other folks, they talk about, a lot of people love to throw a lot of blame on Clark, all this stuff she's doing. But as you seeing, even with Clark not even playing, I looked at the turn, like they still turning the ball over. And, when I was explaining that, about the defensive thing, we get it. Clark is not that good defensively. But I said that whole team is not good defensively, really.
Not at all. They're terrible.
But it's easy to put everything on Clark, and I get it. But I say if you watch a game, and this Indiana team, to be honest with you, with this DeWanna Bonner situation, I talked to somebody about that, and this person tried to tell me, well, people do the same thing in the NFL and the NBA. I said, you obviously don't know that situation, because if you did, you wouldn't have said it. It's the way how Bonner conducted it. But that's another topic for another day. But when it comes to this game, it's like, to be honest with you, unless that Indiana, and this is a long history of Indiana. Indiana has had a bad front office. I think what's going on with Indiana, I think the whole thing needs a whole nother change. But I really think when it comes to the coaching, I really think, to be honest with you, it's not going to happen because of that league. They actually need a dude, and not no man bun type of dude. They need a dude that can get in them ladies' asses and let them know what y'all trying to do. Because it's like, it's too many, the way how I look at it, it's too many different, like, they're not nowhere near a team. You would think even with Clark gone, you would think Boston and Mitchell, because I read a post saying, oh, Boston and Mitchell, they the best players on the team. They the best players on the team. I said, okay, well, Clark gone. And I told people, I said, I see why you said it about Mitchell, but you have to see how Boston is when Clark is not there. And I kind of figured she wasn't going to really have a good game because Boston, as big as she is, she plays soft. And I'm like, against Stevens and Hamby and Rakia Jackson, even though Rakia Jackson is slimmer and shorter than her, Rakia Jackson actually likes to bang down there. So I'm like, nah. And that last, that minute when they gave up them 2 offensive rebounds, I said, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
I said, really?
Yeah.
But yo, it is what it is.
Appreciate it, Dejan. Let me bring.
Yeah, I'm gonna step off.
All right, man. Appreciate you, bro.
All right.
The Pope is in the building. I got Dewana Bonner on the other line. She wants to talk to you.
What up? What up? What up, Rudy? Shout out to Rudy Rodriguez,
What's
France,
going
man.
on?
Yeah, when y'all come, y'all can't be complaining when Rudy get to ranting. And if you don't know where you at, then you'll learn fast. But nah, man, I do not believe she was hurt. I said this the whole time. I said it the whole time. From the beginning, the preseason, when they kept her out the first game of the preseason, said she was feeling whatever. That was bullshit. It was just to keep her out for the first game of the preseason. That's it. And I don't know how y'all didn't understand. I'm not talking about just you. I'm just talking about people in general. Y'all really thought she was hurt? That was an excuse. They do this all the time. They've been doing this forever. They don't play stars in the preseason. So they said she was hurt. She wasn't hurt. So they thought, okay, cool. She came back, busted Brazil's ass, didn't look hurt. She busted their ass. Okay, they said she out again for precaution the last preseason game. Bullshit. They just didn't want her to play the last preseason game. Understandable. She was never hurt. Then when they evaluated her and said, oh, MRI is this, that, and the other, strained quad. She's sitting there. The quad is at the top of your muscle. She all game long jumping up and down every game right when they said she out for 5 games or whatever the case may be. She never showed no signs of being hurt. She even said herself she was good the whole time, but she was leaving it up to the training staff, the medical staff told her she needed to stay out for this many amount of games. Kevin was like, whatever. I guess she kept saying, I'm just listening to them. I'm going to listen to the training staff. I'm going to trust the medical staff. She's not saying she want to quit. She doesn't have the power to put herself on the floor. If they say, hey, we evaluate you, we're going to keep you out just to make sure 5-6 days, we'll reevaluate you, come back to this. Bullshit. She never was out. She never was hurt like that. She come right back and looked just like she left off. 32 points, busting their ass, came right back against the Sun, busted their ass. She didn't look hurt. She was going around them as much as she can without them grabbing on her. Now it's just like this. She's been playing bad agents about her shooting. She's been playing uninspired basketball. If anything is hurt, it's her mental. It's not when you talk about her. Listen to what I'm saying to y'all. Is she sore? Is she beat up? Of course. That's athletes. They all get hurt. Is she not hurt to where she needs to sit the fuck out? She's not that hurt. She's playing basketball since she was a sophomore in high school. What are we talking about here, people? She hasn't fucking missed a game. She don't get hurt like that. All of a sudden now she's just injury prone. Get the fuck. I don't understand how y'all fall for the bullshit. If this is the NBA, nobody would question if they say LeBron sitting out after a back-to-back game. Nobody would question it. Oh, they would know immediately. That's just load management. Oh, he's just rested, so on and so forth. That's all it is, man. I don't want it like to me it's obvious. Now because she's in a shooting slump, we want to say she hurt. That's what we doing. We want to say she hurt because she's in a shooting slump. Nah, man. She not hurt.
So that she sat out. So why she sit out 5 games? Just for shits and giggles?
Because her team made her sit out.
Why would they do that? What's the benefit to the Indiana Fever to do that?
They've been sabotaging Caitlin Clark from the jump. So it's many reasons. I can give you many different things I believe. One major one, keep her from being in the MVP race. If she out so many games, she damn near disqualified from even winning the MVP. That's one. Do you think they want to hand over Caitlin Clark the MVP? I don't.
So who's holding her out? The Indiana Fever or the WNBA? I mean, this is really conspiracy level shit, right?
However you want to call conspiracy level shit, because the Fever is a part of the WNBA. The Fever has been a dumpster juice organization for its entirety. So the Fever don't care nothing about the Fever. The Fever is going to go along with the plan of sabotage. This is coming from the top. Like I said, we know Christy Sides was handed a playbook on sabotaging Clark. Her teammates at first didn't like her, so on and so forth. The league. You think the league don't see all the harassment, all the abuse Caitlin Clark is getting? They turning a blind eye. So it's coming from more than the Fever. And the Fever has no control over it. They playing along with the shit too. This is obvious, though. I don't know. See, how do you think what we just watched DeWanna Bonner come and take money? They gave her money, right? Max, old ass player, max contract. Let you sit out after 1 game, 2 games, you go complain. I'm not a good fit. Oh, okay. Well, we'll adjust the lineup and see how you like that. Oh, still not a good fit after 3 games. Okay, you can just go home and don't worry about nothing. We'll just say personal reasons and cover it up. They all in on the shit, man. The Fever included.
I disagree. We can agree to disagree on this. Duke, you've been waiting for a minute. What's going on, Duke?
Hello. But to me, it's like the Fever front office just like fucked up so bad. Like, okay, Kelly Krauskopf, like she was. It's like, okay, the Fever were the worst team in the WNBA 2017 to 2023. No team lost more games. They only won like not even 25%. Like they were the worst team of all professional leagues, NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball. And then like Kelly just hires her friends, and like to me, like the video interviews made Amber Cox look super pathetic. Where it's like if Annie Constable didn't reveal the report yesterday, would they have not said anything?
Oh, she'd still be on the team.
Yeah, no, and then it's like, and then it's like, oh, just like, and then like Amber basically acted like DeWanna Bonner did nothing wrong, and like, it's like if we thought like Kathy Engelberg has no spine, like Amber Cox or Amber Flops is like the biggest bitch GM in the WNBA, taking it in her cooter, and it's like DeWanna Bonner sticking her fingers in her ass and coochie, and she's like saying thank you. It's like it's BS, man. And then their picks, it's like they basically are doing like okay,
So
Stephanie White.
How long are we gonna keep watching this shit?
Yeah, no, this is what I couldn't believe was like I was on like Ben Daniels, like there was over 1,100 people.
There were a lot of people there.
Once,
I saw it,
and we were just like,
because I was there like 600 or so.
Yeah, no,
1,100. Damn.
No, and then
I mean, I guess he didn't offend anybody with his cursing.
No, but then like for a Hepatitis Howard, just like Amber Cox just getting like a 35-year-old high mileage, no tire tread dinosaur from a different dumpster but same trash pit, like Stephanie White and Amber Cox, like the two people they picked to bring with them to the Fever, couldn't have been any worse.
Pope, were you surprised that DeWanna Bonner responded to you? I would have been shocked.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised. I didn't write that for her to respond, but for people, because I just read it, let me address some.
You got some comments there, Pope.
Yes, let me address some of these people in the chat, man.
Go ahead.
In Rudy's community.
They want to call it the Pope rant now.
No, this Rudy's community, man. Listen, because
The game for her to sit out tonight, yeah, she would want to sit out for a game like this. Herself. The other games, the 5 games, no, that wasn't her call. This game is all of their call. It's a smart call. If I was running the program, I would have her set out on a back-to-back after a 5-game road trip that was every other day, coming fresh off her so-called 5-game injury she just got back from. It's smart not to play her tonight when she got to play on a national TV game, big game versus Paige Buckers tomorrow. Most franchises would keep a star player, whether it's NBA, WNBA, out of a back-to-back game, and they have to come with some excuse of why they're not playing just to save face. So again, if you think if it was really a growing, that's not day-to-day. That's not a day-to-day injury. Rudy just told that shit hurt. You're gonna be out for a week or two.
I just think they're incompetent.
These are the same people that run the Pacers, man. This is the same. This is the Pacers.
And they're the same ones that just ruin their franchise for the next year by putting out Tyrese Halliburton with a fucking busted fucking calf, and now he's blown his Achilles.
That's not their fault. That's not their fault. This game 7, last game of the season. You fucking put them out there.
Yeah, now they're gonna suck for the next 18 months.
I don't know. Listen, man. I don't come from that era. I come from the era where
we wore high tops back then. That's why these kids keep popping their Achilles.
Ball, man. If you were able to fucking go, if you can muster it up to go, especially for a game like that, it ain't no regular game. This is game 7. Everything's on the line. It's what you trained all season for. Yeah, you put that on the line. I don't blame Indiana.
I'm not arguing that. They wear fucking low fucking running shoes to play basketball. They don't freaking protect their ankles. They don't protect their legs. You never saw people get fucking torn Achilles, and yet all they do is they put these fucking stupid little bullshit sneakers, the pretty boy sneakers. Amazing how Michael Jordan could run with them fucking 1984 fucking Jordans and never pop his Achilles, right?
But the thing is, it's like, yeah, on these like, again, they not that dumb. They are competent enough. There's the same people who run the Patriots team, the same training staff as far as medical go, man. The same people, man. So they know. And again, with Rudy, you wouldn't keep Caitlin Clark out after a 5-game road trip.
No, I don't believe in fucking.
Every other game.
I don't believe in fucking load management. I don't come from that world. See, I don't come from that world either. I don't come from load management. You play.
I don't either. But that's the world we live in today. They do load management, correct?
Yeah, and it's pussy ball. That's why I can't stand the NBA anymore.
And see, when it happens in the NBA, we don't question it.
No, I question it every single time. I question it every single time, and I think it's all a bunch of bitch ball.
Players out, and we know they lying to us. We know it's low management, and they act like the player hurt something, right?
No, the bitch bullshit, right? They just flat tell you now they're sitting out for load management.
Now they do, but at first
tell you.
Now they do. You're right.
They just tell you.
What they used to do, though, Rudy. I'm trying to get to what they used to lie to us and say a player hurt a groin, tweaked or something, and we knew they was bullshitting and that he was just out for load management and he'd be for the back-to-back and he'd be back the next game. So again, if she's not playing tomorrow, then I will revisit this. But I think she'll be fully playing tomorrow. That's what they said, day to day.
All right, I got a few other people here. Appreciate you, Pope, man. You can stay on, and I'm gonna.
No problem. No, I'm gonna let y'all cook, man. I didn't ran it long enough. I appreciate you letting me come up here and rant.
I wish you would have asked DeWanna Bonner to come on your podcast, man.
I did. She didn't respond back to that, man. and look, man, hey, you've been cooking lately. Keep cooking, man. Keep doing good work. Keep holding these girls to the fire. Fuck what people talk about. Keep telling the truth about it all. And keep handling your candle. I'm gonna keep tuning in, brother.
Appreciate you, man. As always, man. God bless, man. You too.
No problem. God bless, Rudy.
All right. Let's see here. Lindy, you've been waiting. What's going on, Lindy?
I just trying not to just crack up. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm good. Yeah, we can hear you.
I don't have any problem with the Pope saying, the MVP and all that stuff, because they can rig that really easy. But Caitlyn was hurt, and we all know it. And we had, you and I have talked about this before. She came back too soon. I don't care if they said they did an MRI and it showed 100%. It's not always right. And I can attest to that because I've had the same problem with my shoulder. They said it was fine, and it wasn't. I had a bicep tear, I had a labrum tear, and I had a rotator cuff tear.
Damn.
And it said it was okay.
At the same time?
All at the same time. I went in and had surgery.
Oh my God.
And they were just like, oh my God. And there's times when it doesn't show on the MRI. Plus, I'm a nurse, so I'm just letting you know that right up front.
Okay.
Yeah. The other thing is that Stephanie White. I'm just going to hop forward a little bit here. Caitlyn had the wrap on her leg when she played the Storm. I didn't look earlier. She had it on earlier, on her leg and the groin wrap. So it was already hurting, and I know that groin wrap and that groin is just an after effect of coming back too soon because the quad isn't ready. People don't understand how your body works anatomy wise. Your leg and your groin and the way that your hips move, they're connected. So if your quads are not working properly, it's going to affect another area. Well, the next area up is going to be in your groin area. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's not, rocket science or anything. And you can easily even get online at a reputable place and look how that is really easily explained. So, she's hurt. White knew she was hurt. Um, I just think White's incompetent, and Cece should have never came back this early. And that's why she's injured. That's why she's injured.
I've been saying that from the beginning, and I agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have brought her back until at the end of July, and everybody's laughing at me and all this stuff, but I played
end of July or end
Yeah.
of June?
July.
You would have held her out for 20 games?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Only because of the way, because when she came back, she was all hyped, she was all adrenaline. And I've been there and I've done that. I've competed. I was a gymnast before I played basketball and volleyball. And I've competed for my team, hurt, wrapped it, did the whole thought. And that adrenaline alone got me through.
Mm-hmm.
But then I even made it even worse. And then I was out for a very long time. And, people underestimate, what adrenaline can do for a person. And, people think, oh, that's not real, but it is real. I mean, the people that pick up cars because their child's underneath the car, that happens, and, people just don't want to believe it, and so she came back, she did the 32 points, but even when she scored that well, I was still watching the way that she came off her leg, and it wasn't even when she came off.
The first play of that game.
Yeah.
And I watched it differently from a lot of people.
Yeah.
The first play of that game, she switched on a big, and she settled for a fading away 3 from the wing, and she didn't go for a blow by. And right there, I knew she was still messed up, and that was no question. Question.
And now think about it. You have all shooters use their quads to shoot. Caitlyn is just more efficient at it and has been doing it for so long that she built the muscles the way that her body is framed, and their arms are secondary. And so when a player goes up and they shoot and they're short, there's not enough power in their legs. When a player goes up and they shoot a bullet at the and it hits the backboard, they're not using their legs.
Of course.
They're using strictly their arms. And that's not how Caitlyn plays. I mean, she hasn't played that way her entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And so for somebody not to understand, you have to look at the person. I mean, there's people, that fake stuff and do stuff. And there's just players that don't use their body right. That's just, but that's not Caitlyn. I knew Caitlyn was hurt. We all knew Caitlyn was hurt a while ago. And I knew she was hurt when she came back. Yeah. And, but I don't think the whole conspiracy theory, they can keep her from being MVP, the vote thing and all that crap, that, that's the way they can do it. But Caitlyn would never stand for her to be faking something, you know, that type of thing anyway. So I mean, that's not her character, and she's not gonna change that. You know, she's gonna be her who she is.
Appreciate you, Lindy. I'm at Bariqua Pete, man. What's going on? Let's keep this out of politics, please. No politics, Pete. What's going on, Pete? You there?
I can cook without politics.
Thank you. Go for it, man.
First of all, for the 50,000th time, I told you so, people. I told you this was not the team. This was not the coach. You know, a lot of you, and by the way, in this rant, you motherfuckers are gonna have me defending Rudy. Okay, so.
Because I know what I'm talking about. I mean, what do you want?
You know what? Well, let me get this out of the way before I forget. The main reason I came on, and for those of you in the chat, you know what? This is how you act like a fucking mature adult. And yes, I'm cursing, and yes, I'm gonna call a lot of you out. Rudy doesn't particularly like me. I don't particularly like Rudy. I think he's.
What are you talking about? I don't dislike you.
An
or
asshole,
like that.
and he thinks I'm an asshole, and that's okay. Time out. That's okay, and that's okay if he does or he doesn't. That's okay. The point being that we can still debate like grown-ups. A lot of you, you know, you say, oh, this fucking dude, he's a troll because he said the Fever suck. They lost. Blah blah blah. You know, get him off of here. Rudy's cursing left and right, and you're like, yeah, clapping like fucking seals. That's why I get on your asses, because of your fucking selective outrage. Okay, the soy boys, the fucking yoga infused fake positive motherfuckers. I can't stand you. You've become worse than Angel Reese stands. And before you say, oh yeah, get the fuck out. What do Angel stands do? Which you have said. They make a ton of excuses for Angel Reese, which you have done the last 3 games, guys. They blame everybody except Angel Reese. Everybody from the Pope to the coach to Mother Teresa to inflation. That's the same thing you guys are doing now, okay? Making excuses. Cece goes 1 for 27 from 3. You guys are like, it's got to be hemorrhoids, early onset Parkinson's. You know, it's got to be diabetes, anything but, you know what? She's fucking stinking it up. So you guys have become extremely fucking toxic with your bullshit. And you call out everybody who points out the truth, okay? The other day, Rudy made a video. Rudy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. He's buffering on my screen. This is the main reason. This is the main reason I came on. You made a video the other day where, and I've been holding on to this one, where you spoke about Caitlyn and you said at some point she might have to throw hands. And I saw the comments that you got, and I've been wanting to come on. Okay, you people are fucking you people are fucking delusional. Okay, you're delusional. The reason you're giving Sophie a pass. Today, she scored like 10 plus points. But before that, you've been giving her a pass where she's been dropping zeros back to back to back is because she stood up for Cece. But you refuse to call out her shitty play because she has sucked even worse than Natasha Howard. At least Natasha Howard has been scoring while Caitlyn has been out. But you guys refuse that because, yay, clapping like seals, she's sticking up for Caitlyn. You're fucking delusional. And you got on Rudy and you said, oh, she's got a brand to protect. No, this is that. You know what? Michael Jordan had a brand. You know how many times he got into fights?
He punched motherfuckers in the face all the time.
Yeah. Oh, Caitlyn's not a fighter, blah, 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 blah. You know what? Guess what? This is prison. You guys love to say this is prison ball. Guess what? Have you ever stepped foot in a prison? Because I have.
You fight prison. You fight in prison. You fight prison ball.
Well, that's right. Right now, if Caitlyn was in prison, she'd be washing drawers. Okay, she'd be washing other bitches' drawers. Because that's how it is. If you don't fight, you're done. After the first motherfucker tries you, you're done. And that ship has sailed with Caitlyn. She still has a chance to throw hands and send a message. But when she walked away from Angel Reese, that was it right there. That was it. Because she should have stood her ground. Angel Reese was not going to do a fucking thing to her. Okay? But my point is, this isn't the team. This isn't the coach. We knew this. A lot of you, right? Oh, this is another thing. Rudy, can you still hear me? Because I was just buffering.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, just one last thing. I looked up your video to see what your take was on Stephanie White. 7 months ago, Rudy made a video.
All right.
The thumbnail was "She's coming home." Rudy said in that video he wasn't thrilled about Stephanie White getting hired. A lot of you in this fucking chat now were clapping like seals, loving the Stephanie White hire, and bashing people like me who said she ain't the one. Like Shashawn said, who was on here before, they need a strict male coach to first and foremost teach them how to set a motherfucking professional screen, because Aaliyah Boston in particular is terrified of physical contact, and she always slides her feet and abandons the screen even before the defender gets there. And you get, you're just a troll. Stephanie White is it. She loves Cece, blah, blah, blah. All that nostalgia shit, okay? And Retro, I love you, but I got to call you out. You put a comment under that video, which I'm posting now as soon as this stops buffering, where you said, thank goodness Christy Sides is gone and we finally got, and White is in, we finally got a coach who recognizes Caitlin Clark's talent. That was then, 7 months ago. Today you're saying, fire Stephanie White, she fucking sucks. So there goes your post right there. I keep receipts, people. So before you guys call people trolls, learn to accept reality, learn to accept the truth, okay? Period. Because I may not agree with everything Rudy says, but I'm also going to say when he's right. Okay?
Appreciate it.
I don't mind you calling me a troll, but you got to accept the reality of this team. This team isn't going anywhere. And you know what? She is hurt. She is hurt. So what the Pope was saying about, she wasn't hurt, they just held her out, then he should also know that Stephanie White, okay, just came out, and Rudy highlighted it in a video today. She lied and said, I just found out about the grant. How the fuck are you the head coach? Even if you're not the trainer or the doctor, you know what the fuck is going on with your generational star. You know what's going on with the 12th guy on the bench if he's hurt. So for her to say that, that's a flat out lie. At worst, it's a flat out lie. At best, it's just incompetence, because there's no fucking way you don't know your star player was hurt already. You just found out. Get the fuck out of it. That's like the WNBA. That's like Chicago saying, oh, yeah, we just found out about the monkey noises and the racial slurs when Angel told us, but yet the whole league is riding with it that it happened. Anyway, that's my rant. That's what I wanted to say.
Appreciate it, Pete.
I'm going to jump off.
All right. 6-8 Whiskey. Appreciate you waiting, man. I apologize for the delay. What's going on, man? What you got?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, good, brother. All right, I'm not here to talk about. I didn't even watch the game today. Like
you didn't miss much.
Did they win? No,
they lost by 10. They blew a 10-point fourth quarter lead. They got outscored 35-17 in the fourth.
Even more appropriate for where I'm going here. All right, I'm not here to talk about emotions or conspiracies or Reese or anything like this. When I watch this game later, which I will be watching multiple times, I'm expecting I'm going to see the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
The first play against Golden State, the very first play.
Okay.
You see Caitlin out there, and you see certain things happening out there.
She turned it over. She turned it over the first play, right?
No, there was a pick and roll action in the corner for Caitlin, and she was lost. She engaged the pick, and then for some inexplicable reason, disengages the pick and doesn't follow through on the action to the corner. And sure enough, the exact action that's in her face is the exact action where it goes, and it ends up in 3 points, because her court awareness, her response and commitment to her defensive assignment wasn't there on the play. And this is emblematic to me, not only of her play, but of the play of the team in general. And not only is this happening this year, but this has been happening last year. This was happening under the former coach. And when you see a play like that when you see a play like that as a coach, I don't understand how the coaching staff doesn't see that in film. And I don't understand, you have to address that in film. And if you aren't addressing that in film, you are terrible coaches. So there's no way in my brain, my logic is telling me that a coaching staff that's being paid is not talking about this. And I don't understand how they're not grabbing certain players by their souls and asking them why they are not responding to the actions that are happening right in their faces. And it happens with Cunningham. It happens with multiple players. So these issues that people are talking about when it comes to social media, what happened with some former player here and there, who was wearing what t-shirt and what's that represent, all this stuff doesn't mean anything. When you look at the X's and O's and you see what's happening out there, you realize that there's something happening with the team makeup and their commitment to the schemes that they're playing. And I don't even want to get in the offensive commitment, because as talented as some of those players are, there are still issues with how they execute their offense consistently. And some of these players that have talent have enough talent to break through that inability to execute properly. And they convert, they do what they need to do in spite of the team's inability to execute efficiently on the offense. But I'm talking about defense. So eventually she's going to shoot better. Eventually her quad's going to be fine. Eventually she's going to come back and get into the flow. She's going to be productive. But what happens to this team on the other side of the ball? If they can't stop anybody and they can't end up outscoring them, getting to the playoffs doesn't mean anything. And that's really my main point. And like I said, people talk about Coach White. They talk about how terrible she is and how she has to go. But this has been happening since last year. That coaching staff obviously had issues with this. There's no way you don't see this stuff and just start losing your mind as a coach. Like, I couldn't coach that team and not just grab certain players and try to understand what is happening out there when you're doing this. And if you don't pay attention to this, this is something you should be pounding through their heads over and over again to the point where it's just automatic. It just happens. And that's the difference between players. That's why you have a player like James Harden, who's fantastic. His dribbling ability, his ability to create his own shot, his ability to manipulate defenses, unbelievable. But he is a shit defensive player. There's no way anybody can ever talk about James Harden being the GOAT. It's never going to happen. And it's not necessarily because he's not a good offensive talent. It's because he's nothing. He's useless out there when he's not operating the way he wants to operate. So if this team can't figure out how to deal with the opposition on the defensive end, a lot of this other crap about social media and she's not on the right team doesn't mean anything for this club. Maybe she moves on and goes to another club where all these things don't make a sense, aren't an issue. And on that club, she buys into the philosophy. And on that club, she commits to these concepts, to these very basic concepts that 10-year-olds know how to do this shit. These concepts, if she's on another team, maybe she commits to that better. But on this team, with this team makeup, it's not happening. She's not doing it. The team isn't doing it. And when I watch the game later, which I will, I would imagine I'm going to see the same goddamn thing over and over again. So I want to blame the coaching staff. But like I said, I can't believe any coaching staff doesn't see this and they're not talking about it. That's really it.
People are asking if you've ever done radio.
No. I know I have a atypical sort of tonation in my voice, but no, I've never done radio.
They're all saying you have a perfect radio voice. I agree. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for jumping on.
Well, I'd love to come on and talk anytime. Like I said, I'm definitely not here to talk about. I want to see it on the court. You can't be a GOAT. You can't even be a winning club unless you do what has to be done every single play. Doesn't matter.
Well, they don't commit to shit on this team. Like, there's no commitment.
If you watch them, even if you watch them offensively, I don't want to talk shit about Clark. That's not why I'm here.
No,
but
it's not.
Even when I see her on pick and roll action, the pick and roll she does really well with in certain situations. But in other situations, she has a tendency of picking up her dribble too soon.
Oh, absolutely.
And when you pick up your dribble too soon, you force that pick and roll action to sort of like just fizzle out.
Well,
when it fizzles out, the defense can reset, and now your ability as an offensive player, being that you're Caitlin Clark, with your dribble talent is now getting muffled by your decision making of picking up the ball rather than doing something, which I would imagine the coaching staff is also saying. Keep your dribble alive. Keep
They don't
driving towards the baseline to let that roll happen.
They don't run actions off of actions. Like they don't like they're first Aaliyah Boston never holds a screen for a second. She always slips. Caitlin doesn't come close enough to the screen. But the problem is that Aaliyah so it leaves gaps. And then Aaliyah Boston doesn't hold the screen. So once you're slipping, you got to keep going with the ball. You can't just pick up the dribble automatically, which is what she does a whole lot. If you keep it going, how about you also have a backdoor screen, a backdoor cutter to the rim? I mean, there's so many things that they should do, but you know, I see it on both sides of the ball.
I mean, when you look at it in its totality and you step back from it and you realize what you're saying, you realize what I'm saying, you start getting away from all these narratives. You start taking a step away from the narratives. You start taking a step away from the hate, and you start breathing for half a second and understanding that it doesn't matter what team it is. It doesn't matter the racial makeup of the league or the age or the level or what's at stake. It's that if you care about basketball and you've chosen to get on the court, that if you're going to commit to the idea of playing basketball, then commit to it. And when you don't see it, you know it.
I appreciate it. Let me get you on. SH, what's going on, SH? You there?
Hey, what's up, Rudy? Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Hey, so I know that everybody's talking about, like, you know, it's Stephanie's fault, it's whatever fault. I think it's everybody's fault. But I think a big part of the problem is Caitlin bent the knee too early. She acquiesced to the players rather than making them acquiesce to her, which started all of this. So now everybody's just looking at her like, you owe us something, when it's the other way around. So they've already created a culture where she's apologetic to them. So now she's deferent to them. And Kelsey Mitchell, she's been a loser her whole career. And from what I've seen, she was a loser in college too. She had a good scoring though. So why would you keep a loser around? You're just keeping a loser around. So she's supposed to be one of the team leaders. She's leading as a loser. She's rubbing other players' backs. When DiJonai was falling down, she was rubbing her back, helping her up last year, helping her up this year. I mean, what kind of person is that? And then when Caitlin falls, she's looking around. So these girls can say, oh, we're protecting our locker room. But I can assure you what they're doing is they're watching social media and people are calling them all kinds of things, calling them all kinds of racial things and whenever they're nice to Caitlin. And it's getting in their head. So now they can't be a good teammate because they're so worried about what other people are going to think. And that's what's holding them back for real. And I think it's holding back Aaliyah Boston too, because she's so worried about the next person, how they're going to feel about her. I think all of them, they're naturally women, and women worry about what other people think about them too much. And I think Caitlin fell into that a little bit too much too. And that's why she started with all this backpedaling and trying to make everybody happy. Whereas before she was really neutral. She started being very trying to, oh, I love DeWanna, I love this person. They're such great leaders. What did she do as a great leader? You haven't even played with her yet. And then even when she was trash, she's still a great leader. She's a great leader. What is she doing as a great leader? You're supposed to be the leader here. And then I think Stephanie White, her issue is she doesn't know how to manage different players' feelings. So rather than trying to keep everybody in check and let Caitlin run the offense and things like that, she's like, no, I need to hold Caitlin back a little bit so that way she doesn't show up with other players who might get offended or feel some type of way that she's making more shots or getting more fandom. And also, all of them have been pretty much losers, especially Stephanie White, even when she was in WNBA. So now it's her chance to be somebody. So why would she want Caitlin to show her up? So that's all I got to say.
No, I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. Aaliyah Boston always looks like she's too worried about what everyone else thinks. Heck, the whole situation with DeWanna Bonner with Aaliyah Boston got called out by DeWanna Bonner. And if you remember, when the season started, and before the season, when she got picked up by the Fever, she called out Aaliyah Boston. She said, "How great do you want to be? How good do you want to be? Blah blah blah. You want to be the best center in the league? Blah blah blah. All that shit." So she basically embarrassed her publicly. And then now she is the one that's the quitter. She quits, and Aaliyah Boston says nothing. I think Aaliyah Boston should have gone ape shit, but Aaliyah Boston is too worried about what people think of her. and and that's part of the problem. That's one of the things that involves toughness that has always been a problem for me with Aaliyah Boston. People think I just say things to bother. Like if you could give Aaliyah Boston Lexi Hull's toughness. See, y'all get mad at me about my comments on Lexi Hull. I just don't think she's all that skilled. But she plays hard as shit. Like no one's ever gonna argue how hard Lexi Hull plays. I'll never argue how hard Lexi Hull plays. She plays hard as shit. If you gave Aaliyah Boston the guts that Lexi Hull has, you would have a monster. But you have someone who is like a fucking a teddy bear for a baby, and she should have absolutely lit her up. Instead of the fact that dude, give me a break. Instead of the fact that she sits there and she's let DeWanna Bonner now rip at the fans in Indiana saying you're gonna be owing me an apology. Man, fuck your apology. You could suck a fucking dick for all I care. That was the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard in my life. An apology. You quit on the team literally like 4 weeks ago. You had a fake excuse of personal reasons. I would have had a whole lot more respect for this franchise and this management if they had said, look, we're looking to deal DeWanna Bonner. It's not working out. And that's perfectly okay. I actually could deal with that a whole lot better than the bullshit personal reasons. That's why I don't believe in personal reasons. That's why I don't believe Stephanie White had personal reasons. I don't believe any of it. I think they lie all the time.
Aaliyah Boston doesn't love basketball. Most of these women are tall. They had no other choice in their life but to do this. A lot of these players in there, they're just tall. They had no other choice. There's nothing else for them out there. So somebody forced them to play basketball. Aaliyah's not even from this country. I read like a little bit. She's not even from the US. So she's just doing what she has to do. And that's why she's so soft. I mean, imagine if she was more like A'ja Wilson without the personality. She'd be better than Caitlyn, you know? So like,
no, if she had the toughness, if she had A'ja Wilson's toughness, and I don't like A'ja Wilson, but if she's tough, no one's gonna argue that she ain't tough. Yeah, Aaliyah Boston just pisses me off because I see the ability there, and she just is so fucking soft. It's disgusting.
If Cambrick never got hurt, she would have been an easy swap, and they would have been perfect. Sometimes you gotta put people around. I think they gotta put people around Caitlyn who aren't worried about so many other factors and all stuff like that. And that's why I was, earlier I said, hey, they should bring in Kelsey Plum because Kelsey's already dealt with A'ja and all that bullshit over there. She cared less what they're saying over here. And I've been to Indiana Pacer games and things like that. I've been over there. That's a great arena, great team, great atmosphere. Mm-hmm. They're missing out.
Do you live there? Do you live in Indianapolis?
No, I live a couple hours away.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to go to a game this year, but I don't want to go anymore. Deadass. Like I don't even want to go anymore this year. Not this year.
I was going to a Wings game just to see what's going on. What's up with DiJonai's wig flying everywhere? See what that looks like. But I don't even know if I want to pay no money for those tickets now with this bullshit going on.
this team right now it's not easy to watch, and watching them blow fourth quarter leads like it's like I've never seen a team not be able to finish a game so much. It's like they play 10-minute quarters, not 12-minute quarters, and they still manage to blow these leads on a consistent basis. It's insane. But I appreciate you jumping on. I have Semper. Let me get Semper Fi in here real quick. You can stick around. I'll reopen it. Semper Fi, what's going on, sir?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Why are these teams so afraid of running? I mean, if we need to surround CC with players that are not afraid to run, a coach that is not afraid to run, and run these other teams out of the damn building.
Well, Cece's not playing right now, but
I know, but when she was, but it's like, what is the hell with this half-court offense?
Well, that's the biggest criticism that people have about Stephanie White is that they feel like she's handcuffed Caitlin Clark, and heck, we watched it last year. They would push the ball, push tempo, dominate when they push tempo, and when they didn't push tempo, they couldn't do shit. And we're doing the same thing. They're doing this. Indiana's doing the same thing all over again.
Indiana should be scoring 100 points a game the way that they should be able to play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and by the time you get to the fourth quarter, the other team's so damn worn out they can't keep up with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they should be doing.
No, I agree. I definitely agree with that. I mean, I thought this team would average in the mid 90s. I expected them to average in the mid 90s and push tempo and push pace all game long, never stop, basically bringing 40 minutes of hell and never stop. I mean, even on a make miss, it doesn't matter. You push tempo. Make
That
miss,
Liberty
push
game,
tempo.
that Liberty game should be every game.
Every game, yeah, and that's they shot the ball exceptionally well in that game, but that should be every game. That's how they should be pushing the tempo.
I think it's like Daniel.
Ben Daniel.
Yeah, Ben Daniel. He's like 80 shots a game.
Yeah. I mean, if you look, just look at tonight. They had, what did they take? How many shots did they take tonight? They took 63 shots.
Oh, it was horrible to watch.
It's terrible. It was like a walking snail's pace, and they're not moving. And even tonight, I mean, they should always push tempo. You can't, just because Caitlin Clark comes out of the game doesn't mean you change. You stop doing what you're supposed to do. This walking the ball up the floor, 34 points in the first half, is an abomination.
Agreed.
I know that they scored 41 in the second half, but they gave up 55. But you gotta push tempo. I mean, I know people might think that Aaliyah Boston can't run, but I think Aaliyah Boston gets down the floor now, and that's when Aaliyah Boston is at her best when she's running down the floor. I know she's at her best when Caitlin Clark's on the floor, giving her basically easy layups, but it's one of those things where.
Do you think that Bluder could make a difference?
I do think she could, but I don't think she's going to come out of retirement. I don't think she's coming out of retirement.
Because that's been the only coach that I know of that was willing to change the way that they coached for CC.
The great, from my experience, the great coaches in sports, they adjust to the talent. And I can tell you that I'm a Miami Dolphins fan, and the Miami Dolphins were very well known for running the ball. Don Shula ran the ball all in the 70s. And then comes Dan Marino, and the Miami Dolphins become a pass-heavy team. If you can't adjust to your talent, then you're a shitty coach.
Agreed.
And that's what I'll always feel. You are a shit coach if you cannot adjust to your talent. Like, if you can't win with LeBron James, you can't win with if you can't win with certain players, it's the one sport in which one player really can make that much of a difference. So, and I mean, I'm reading some of the comments here where people don't think that Bluder could help. If you run and you run and you run, like this goes back to conditioning and people being in shape and all those things that go with basketball. I mean, I remember the fact that they don't practice. They practice an hour and a half a day. They don't have real practices. Like, there's no 4 hours of we're going balls to the wall. They're going to have, I wish they had lost and not played in this stupid Commissioner's Cup, because they could definitely use 5 days of practice. They need it. Yeah, Duke Lombardi just commented. Nick Saban used to be a run heavy coach. What happens? He gets Tua Tagovailoa. Let's chuck the ball over the field. Let's run. Let's throw the hell at the ball. Like, you get a guy that can do something different than you're used to, you adjust. So.
And I've seen videos of some like TikTok videos of the Fever practices, and they're all doing half court sets.
Yeah, they look like those. I don't even watch that shit. Like, I mean, people, when they post these videos of their practices, they only let out what they want to be seen. They're never gonna let out the reality. But yes, you see half court sets. Exactly. I should see you sprinting up and down the floor. I mean, that's what we should be looking at. We should be looking at people sprinting up and down the floor. I mean, there's a reason those teams that run. I mean, look at the Pacers. Look at what the Pacers managed to do in the playoffs. Just pushing the tempo the whole damn game, and making these ridiculous comebacks because they never stop. They never stop.
And that's what just like you mentioned, condition. That's what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. It's like these other teams. If the Fever would do that, just by observing these other teams, they would be so exhausted by the fourth quarter, probably even the third quarter, that the Fever could just run up the score whatever they wanted to. They wouldn't even be having to play defense because the other team would be so exhausted trying to keep up with them.
I would pose this question. Look at the 3 best players on every single team in the WNBA. Is there a team, and I know that Kelsey Mitchell does have her history of being on losing teams, but is there a team that has 3 more talented players in their top 3 in the league? I'm open to hearing in comments what anyone thinks.
Last year, I would have said maybe the Aces.
Last year I could have said that, but Lindy, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Who do you think? Do you think there's a team that has 3 more talented players
Not
as
3.
the top 3 players in the WNBA than this team?
Yeah, not 3.
Not 3. The Liberty, maybe.
2.
Maybe the Liberty. Stewart, Ionescu, and Jones.
Yeah, but now Jones is hurt, so
okay.
Yeah, but JJ doesn't really run the court real well. She does get tired.
Yeah, she does.
So I'm talking about fast play 3 players that are hot.
Like the only one that I might look at, and it's a stretch, is Atlanta. I love their team personally.
The Lynx are a good club.
Oh yeah, the Lynx are.
I just got one thing real quick.
Yes, sir.
What you just were speaking about, you're absolutely right. A good coach, good coaching staffs can work with what they have on their team and get the most out of the squeeze. Like that's what you want your coaching staff to be able to do. You're absolutely right.
Absolutely.
But you're also right, absolutely right, that they can only do what they can do with what they have on the team. So endurance, stamina, these are issues. If certain players aren't in conditioning or whatever, you might have a player in the NBA that's a bit of a fatty in the off season, comes back in, and now you got 3 months of having to deal with this fatty on the court and trying to get him back conditioned. I understand this, right? So you only have what you have to work with, and some things can't be changed, like length, height, other things can, but there's limitations. So you're absolutely right. And this gets back to what somebody was talking about before, about 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago. To me, ifs and buts are candy and nuts. We all would like to take Aaliyah Boston and her productivity and stuff Bill Laimbeer and Dennis Rodman in that body. Everybody wants that. But we don't live in that reality. We can't control that simulation. The only thing we have is what we have from Boston, which is a highly talented offensive player that has been consistent. Now, does she have issues? Like I was saying before, with the Fever in general, Boston absolutely has issues. Same thing with Mitchell. Mitchell has been fairly productive. She's like, 18 points? She's doing all right. She would be great if she was more productive. It'd be great, if some of the things that people want from her is happening, but I don't necessarily feel that she's dragging down the team at this point. She does have issues as well on the defensive end that are apparent when you watch her.
If I was in practice and I had Aaliyah Boston, I would be taking a bunch of wiffle ball bats or pool noodles or one of those bruiser bags, and I would just be hitting the shit out of Aaliyah Boston.
Rudy, I got something for you. Go ahead.
Go
All right, you remember when we talked? I always tell you about how much I watch SEC women's basketball and everything.
Yes,
Listen,
sir.
this thing with Aaliyah being soft, she's always been that way. Dawn could never get that out of her. It's not gonna come out of there now. I don't know. Is it that? And the caller who came in earlier who said she's not American. Technically, she is. She's from the U.S. Virgin Islands, so she technically is American. Yeah.
Well,
so
it's not the same. Come on.
But I mean, she's from the same. She's from the same island Tim Duncan from. I mean, Tim was quiet, but Tim was soft either though.
Well, I mean, Tim Duncan, he's a serial killer.
Yeah, you're right. But my thing is with Aaliyah. My thing is with Aaliyah. None against her. She's always been that, and like I said, she got skills and everything, but she's just a big teddy bear. And you're not gonna just get. You're not gonna get that out of her. I just don't see it soon.
Well, that's why
And
I would have my coaches and my staff like assault the shit out of her in practice.
Stephanie White ain't gonna do that.
That's what makes you a great coach. I'm
Well,
gonna
the
beat
deal is,
your ass in practice.
hey, everybody on the go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
It doesn't matter about this. I know at least Boston is a sweetheart.
Yeah.
But if you talking about trying to build her up, make her mean and everything, if you run if you run the other sons of bitches out of the building, you don't have to worry about whether she's soft or not.
All right, so I give you a prime example. When Aaliyah Boston was a freshman at South Carolina, hey, I got stories. I'm listening. I got stories though. Like that team. You say what now?
You just ignore it. It's like whether she's soft or not wouldn't matter if you're running the people out of the dang building. I mean, how many looking at the players of this Fever team, who on this team cannot run if we decided to, if they woke up tomorrow and everybody started running and gunning, who on this current Fever team could not do it?
Yeah,
probably Howard. Probably Howard. Probably Turner.
Average. That team, team speed is average.
What?
Boston is never going to be tough in the paint.
I'm not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My whole deal is like, okay, and I know we was talking about coaches earlier. That the Indiana team, what I called earlier, I said they need a guy that's gonna be in their ass. They don't need a guy that's that's a little soft around the edges and one that's gonna be nice. Those ladies need somebody that's gonna be mean. But the way the politics of that league, it's not gonna be any more male coaches like that. I just don't see it. I think the last one was probably Bill Laimbeer probably was Bill Laimbeer. You know what I'm saying? Bill Laimbeer used to, before Becky took over, Bill Laimbeer was on them girls' ass. You know what I'm saying? And that's what that team needed, especially for the defensive side. Because like I said, that defense and that boxing out and getting rebounds, that right there can have you scratching your head. And it's kind of surprising from seeing it from Boston. That was the surprising thing. You know what I'm saying? I can see, from for Cunningham, I can see that it's not right, but I can see it more. But until then, you're gonna have people like Stephanie White, who I've said it looked good at Connecticut because she had a team that was already built by Kirk Miller, and look what she did with them. She really didn't do nothing with them than what Kirk Miller did. And then when she was at Indiana back in 2016, that team was already built. But I said when she was at Vanderbilt, and I know a lot of people try to say, well, Vanderbilt is a little bit harder. That's BS because Shea Ralph got them balling down there. So when she was at Vanderbilt, they totally was horrible. And that's why I said, Stephanie Wright really can't coach. It looked good. The image looked good, but when it actually come down to the substance and the product is bad. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely bad. Because like sometimes I be like, damn, what adjustment she making? I be trying to figure this out and I don't be seeing it. But to people that don't just really just follow it or know the history of it, they just go by on the team she had last year in Connecticut, and which was a team that was already built. So, that's how I just look at it. So I don't see, Wright probably coached her 2 years, but that, like I said earlier, that Indiana team, they need a coach that's gonna get their ass up and toughness and gonna be hurting some feelings, not being nice, because she could be, some of them coaches are nice too in that league, you know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. We seen, for those who've been watching that league for a while, see how that league gonna operate, see how that league operate. And a lot of those male coaches that was very tough, they all gone. Bill Laimbeer wasn't the only one. There was others out there that was like that. They all slowly faded away. So it's gonna be, if it's a man coaching, he's gonna be, a little soft around the edges. He ain't gonna be hurting no feelings or nothing like that. It is what it is.
Right, it is what it is. And the thing is how you gonna get that talent?
Yeah,
where are you gonna go out?
Can I say one more thing?
Where are you gonna go out and get a player that's as productive as Boston and does all these aggressive things that you want from her? Where are you gonna get that in the league, and what are you gonna have to do to give up? What's your team makeup going to be?
You don't need to.
What kind of coaching adjustment are you going to have to make? Like maybe you're not getting as much production from this new player, but this new player is tougher. and now you need to go out and get other talent to offset the loss of Boston's productivity on offense. So you only have what you have, and you only can get so much what you can get out of each player. And Boston is never going to be this Bill Laimbeer.
You don't.
So,
No.
So they have to just go with what they're going with. Try to figure out a way to get some aggression, possibly, but what they're getting out of Boston is good. What they're getting out of her is good. And,
we don't need her.
And things that they get out of her is bad. That's bad. Don't necessarily translate to her being a tough guy or that she's not.
You're right.
One player or the other. It's just who she is. Like you said, she is
this the guy
that she's always been.
Are you the guy that drafted for? Are you? Is it the guy that's talking? You the one that say sound good for the radio? I got one more thing to bring up with coaches. Do y'all remember? Before Noel Quinn took over, remember? I think Hughes. That Seattle team was tough as all outdoors. They still a little bit like that now, but not with Noel Quinn. It's not that same type. Then I do understand they had a younger version of Stewie and a younger version of Jewel Lord. They had a younger version of them. But how many titles did he win as the coach of Seattle? Or the Storm? How many titles did he win out there?
I couldn't tell you.
The Hughes guy. The Hughes guy.
I'm a product of the 90s. I never really was too much into women's basketball. I was always aware of it in the back of my head because I enjoy sports. I obviously think about the X's and O's of teams regardless. In general, I've always enjoyed the sport, playing it. It's probably has been, I would be one of the first ones to admit I have been paying more attention since the dynamics that surround a player like Caitlin Clark showed up. I have to admit that I am somewhat critical about what I see from this team because of the hype that's given to them. But I'm also really critical of other teams. Like when the Fever took the Liberty, game was garbage. The Liberty's defense was garbage. They were trash, and Clark fed off of it, and she was aware of it, and it was impressive. But at the same time, it wasn't so much that Clark just tore the team apart as much as their defense was just like, I didn't know what they were doing either at certain points. It was ridiculous. But
okay,
what we were getting at originally was you only get what you can get from your team, and what's it going to take to get what pleases the fans and what pleases the organization. Sometimes those are two different things, and they're constrained by all sorts of variables, money, the dynamics of like each college class coming out, and relationships among players. So, it's the reality of having a professional sports team. It's not always a conspiracy. There's a lot of things going on.
Rudy.
Yes.
Do you remember the Suns? The Phoenix
Suns? Yo, from the 90s with Charles Barkley?
With Steve Nash.
Oh,
Steve Nash. The D'Antoni song.
I'm talking about the 130 point a game.
Yeah, they ran. Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire.
Yes,
they ran.
Defense was didn't have to worry about having it because when you run the other team out of the dang building, by the third or fourth quarter, they're so exhausted they can't keep up with you.
No, I look. You're preaching to the choir when it comes to the Indiana Fever. I said from the beginning they should run, and never stop running. They need to be in prime, premier physical condition, and their cardio needs to be off the wall great. And that's what you need for a team that has Caitlin Clark running the point. If you're gonna slow Caitlin Clark down, I'm gonna be blunt. This is as blunt as it gets. If Caitlin Clark is running a half-court offense, she's not very good.
No.
She's not very good, number one, and the team is gonna suck. It's like having Steph Curry and ask him to post up. No, but P, I see your comment there. Fuck the bullshit. The Suns were a damn good team. They were a damn good team, and they got screwed out of the playoffs over some bullshit ejection off of a Stoudemire, I think it was, on the court in a fight situation. He got suspended for a game. Get the fuck out of here. You're wrong. Those Suns teams were awesome. Please. There's no offensive ability in this league. There's not a team in this league that can run and keep up with pace. Not one team. This,
And there's
if
only
you- if-
one player that can.
and there's only one player that does that shit, and that's Caitlin Clark. She has
did it
that
for 4
ability
years.
to push, push, push. And if you're in shape and you run the damn floor and you push tempo, you can eat some turnovers here and there. You can't eat the bullshit ones, but you can eat some turnovers here and there. But if you're pushing tempo, they score in the mid 90s, they're going to win 85% of their games. Because most of these teams, what was that?
I agree with that.
Yeah, most of these teams cannot score in the 90s. They might have one here and there, but if you're pushing that shit the whole game, and that's what I was screaming for before the season began, and this shit ass coach Stephanie White screwed it up immediately, did the exact opposite, and has them in a snail's pace. Caitlin Clark is not a half-court point guard. Not a half-court point guard. And this team can't run a half-court offense with or without her.
Correct.
So if you're not pushing pace with Caitlin Clark, go find her a team where they're going to coach and push pace, because you're wasting her talent if you're going to freaking be in a half-court game. Just wasting it.
Their current team.
She ran for 4 years. She ran for 4 years at Iowa. Yeah. Why isn't she doing it now?
Their team speed is average. Their team speed.
No, you run. No. I don't agree with that, bro.
And here's something. I got something for you, Rudy. I got something.
Yeah.
6-13. I think it was either against Las Vegas or Golden State in the third quarter, and this has been happening. You can see it all over the place. Teams scouting this team are specifically attacking her foot speed, her footwork. Like on the offensive end, I'm never going to say this differently. On the offensive end, her dribbling skill and her passing acumen, her ability to see the court offsets this deficiency that I'm seeing in her footwork. On the defensive end, it's more noticeable. You see,
well, I also think she's hurt, right? I believe
this
she's
was happening
hurt.
last year. This was happening last year. You saw it last year.
No, I didn't see.
You could see
I
it.
saw defensively.
Watch her. And
I do watch. I watch it very
watch the
close.
Golden State game. Watch the Las Vegas.
I'm not
game.
using the Golden State game. She's injured.
And
in
when
the Golden State Vegas game, she's injured.
But this is happening last year too. So when you attack her,
she wasn't running last year either.
When you attack her, you attack, and this is a good defensive scheme or offensive scheme in general. You're attacking the weakness in order to create chaos on the court. So you're forcing rotation, and you're looking for that rotation to make a mistake, which happens often with this team on rotation. So they're consciously attacking Clark's footwork to force that rotation, and then they're feeding off of that rotation.
Well, why aren't you working on footwork in practice?
And sometimes Clark gets lost in that rotation. Footwork can be taken care of in practice, but foot speed on the defense is a little bit tougher to take care of.
You're talking about running, or you talking about?
No, I'm talking about
movement?
changing position, resetting yourself, moving out, stunting, being committed.
That's effort. I call that effort.
Being committed to that stunt, and having the foot speed and footwork to know as a player that yes, indeed, I can make this stunt, and yes, indeed, I can recover from this stunt. And sometimes I feel like she doesn't think she can recover, so she doesn't bother.
She quits. She quits.
Well,
but she never had to play defense at Iowa, though.
That's my point.
Iowa never played defense.
To the end, but I saw it more the last 3 games than I've seen it in the first year.
So the rest of the team has to pick up the slack in the event she does quit, or in the event she can't recover. Now you create that chaos in that rotation.
I've only seen that type of.
Okay, I'm trying not to be rude, but I'm going to be rude here.
Go ahead. Be rude.
Okay. This Cece's problem. What I understand what you're saying, but I see her weakness is because she's not moving her feet correctly. If you put her up next to Hall, she is moving her feet from side to side. When you watch, shuffling back with her feet, barely moving her feet off the floor. If you watch Caitlin do it, she's actually picking up each foot. I'm doing really basic stuff. Picking up each foot higher than it should be and trying to move. And you cannot play defense that way. You already are behind the player when you start moving like that. She is not in the right position with her feet, and she doesn't move them properly to be a good defensive player. And she never had to because she was so good and she ran a full court. She didn't have to learn that.
He's
that's
right.
what we need
He's
to
right.
be doing now.
Hold on,
He's
people.
right.
No, I'm not. There's no narrative pushing that CC is the weakness. Stop it. Don't
No,
bring up
I'm not
shit
saying that. No one's saying that.
I'm reading a chat comment.
Right. No one's
No
saying
one's
that.
pushing a narrative that CC's the
No,
weakness.
she's not. No,
There
she's
is,
not the weakness.
but she is not above being criticized. And her
No,
defense for me the last 3 games has been atrocious. Because one, I think because she's hurt. 2, because they don't work on defensive footwork with her, which they need to do. My God, the inability to shuffle the feet defensively, that's an effort thing, in my opinion. Always has been. Effort. People act like Pat Beverly, who played in the NBA for how many years, didn't average 35 points a game as a senior in high school. Like, most of these players professionally were dominant offensive players in high school. You adjust your game. I'm sure Lexi Hall was a dominant player in high school, and she had to make a decision that if she wanted to be in the WNBA, she needed to defend like her life depended on it.
Yes.
Because she doesn't have the offensive skills at this level to be that type of player that she was in high school. And what you have happen is there are those players that have that elite skill offensively. If you have it, then you're that person. But otherwise, you better play some freaking defense. And I think Caitlin Clark at times, I'm saying all the time, I think she's a pretty decent off the ball defender. She understands, angles and shit. But when it comes to on the ball, the last 3 games, her on the ball defense was so painful to watch. I was nearly breaking my television set. And
but she has the ability to learn this because
of course she does. Absolutely.
And so I'm not saying it was a weak. It's a weakness in the sense that I'm saying she's a bad player. No, she's a generational player. I'm not questioning that at all.
No one's saying that.
Someone
said that.
I just want to make that clear for the chat. I just think she needs somebody. She needs to work on the defense footwork. And I think if somebody picked up, just worked with her and did that her game would just be even more elite than it already is.
And that can develop. You can develop into that over
she has a basketball IQ.
Chat airs. No one's sitting here saying she has to be a lockdown defensive player.
No,
you're a gaslighter, man. I've noticed your comments.
Okay.
Every comment you make is gaslight bullshit, and it's getting a little fucking annoying. Seriously. She has the most ball usage. Who gives a shit? It doesn't mean you just stand there like a statue defensively. Right. It doesn't mean that shit.
Right.
Because if you can contribute all these points, but if you're giving up the same amount the other direction, you're kind of it's negligible. So you gotta fucking defend a little bit and actually attempt a little bit of defense. And now I'm blaming the last 3 games on her injury.
Yeah.
When she's healthy, I don't want to see that shit no more. Because I don't think she was this bad earlier defensive. I didn't think she was this bad last year defensive. People say, I'm sorry. I don't see that first of all, she doesn't average 3 blocks and 3 steals a game. So y'all need to stop the bullshit. Don't make up numbers. That's fucking bullshit. Stop making up stuff, people. But yeah, no. No one's saying that some of y'all with the gaslighting comments are a little bit pathetic. But I'm sorry. Y'all go ahead.
I need to make a point.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Listen. Okay. The Phoenix Suns, led by Nash, were one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA. They were not known for their defense. They were known for wearing your ass out on the floor. By the time you got to the 3rd or 4th quarter, you were too tired to defend. Made you easier to defend because you were so exhausted from trying to defend the high octane offense. That's what the Fever need to be doing.
But you still got to defend a little bit. You still have to defend a little bit. You can't, because the fact is that Phoenix team never won a championship, and that was the goal of this team, is win a championship. But
they got. You also said they got robbed.
Yeah,
no, they got robbed. But they got robbed by someone being ejected. I don't know if they would have won the championship, but they didn't get there because of that situation with San Antonio. I remember it like it was yesterday.
But if the Fever played like they do.
But if the Fever play like they do, I agree with you, because the WNBA doesn't have the talent to keep up with it.
Right.
Exactly. I agree with you.
Yeah, but this is the problem, you guys. It's not that. It's the Fever. Caitlin can do that because Caitlin has trained that way her whole life. She is a gym rat. She does sprints every day. She keeps up on her stamina. She does it every day. It's not something that you can go out and perfect in 6 months. You've got to work on it every single day to have that much stamina to be able to play, 40 minutes and full court on. And so the new players coming in, when you're looking at Citron and you're looking at Kiki, you're going to see those guys. They're working on that, and that's why they're better coming into the WNBA, because they can play fast.
I got a question. I got a question about that though. And I'm just gonna say on the playing fast, because of how the women's basketball, how WNBA is with these centers. Majority of these centers ain't running like that. And I'm glad what you said there with Kiki, because I know Shakira Austin the same way. She can just run up and down the floor like clockwork. But how many like tall players like 6'5" or 6'4" and above? I can think of Shakira, I can think of Kiki, I can think of Monique Billings, probably a couple of more that can just run up and down the court like gazelles. Not that many. They most of them are slow.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
This is
And
not
that's what I'm saying.
necessarily
It's something
a
that
running league.
it's something that you have to work on.
But they need to be.
No, I'm not saying like run up and down. You get what I'm saying, like run like gazelle. I mean, they can. If the players I just named, Shakira Austin, Kiki, Monique Billings, even though Monique Billings is a role player, them ladies when they run the floor, they can run the floor like how Lindy talking about how we all are talking about. The tall players for Indy, Dantes, Boston. I don't see that much in Boston. Dantes, Boston, Howard, what's the name? Bree Turner. They can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't have to. The tall player that can run, she doesn't have to be a superstar or anything. It just need to be somebody that somebody like a big, like a 4 or a 5 that can get up and down and won't be winded by like the middle of the third quarter. So it's not that many of them out there. It's not that many of them out there. I think like 5 or 6 of them.
That's exactly right. And I'm looking at them. I'm thinking, okay, how many of those players can actually go and run a quarter mile? Just a quarter mile.
Damn, that's a quarter mile.
They wouldn't make it.
I would think you'll say at least 800, but quarter mile. You
don't think a WNBA player can run a quarter mile?
Come on now, come on, Miss Lindy, come on now.
When I was in high school, my volleyball team. Listen, when I was in high school, my volleyball team, and they don't even run on the court. We ran a half mile every single practice. Because it was about stamina. It's not. It's they don't do that kind of training anymore.
Are you talking about all the WNBA players or just the bigs?
I'm just talking about all of them. They all need to be able to run.
I'm confident they can do a quarter mile confidently. Now, half a mile, I can kind of get what you're saying.
I don't think
so. 1,500, no.
Some of those players, I would say, I bet you Citron and Kiki could run a quarter mile. I know for sure. I mean, and I'm not talking about an easy quarter mile. I'm saying put some effort into it, and
my 13-year-old runs a minute in the quarter mile.
I think most of that Washington Mystics team can pretty much run.
See, the players now are not like the players before.
My 13-year-old son can run a quarter mile in a minute.
And you think some of those girls on the court can do that on Fever Team?
They shouldn't have a job.
I just would like to say first of all, hello everybody.
Go ahead, Wody.
It's slightly disturbing to me that a lot of the onus is not put on the coaches, because again, you would get let's use Coach Carter, the movie, for example, how he took a ragtag bunch, got them conditioned, got them ready, right? I understand they don't have so much practice time, so on and so forth. And one thing I do notice with the Fever is there is some improvement in their defensive identity. They communicate a little bit better. They switch pretty good in off-ball screen situations and so on and so forth. But as I was saying in the chat, for the most part, you got maybe 2 actually good defensive players on the team full of average defenders trying to run a Tom Thibodeau type of defensive scheme. You know what I mean? It still is going to be some faults here and there, especially when they get isolated. They get put in isolation. You know what I mean? Kelsey Plum cook certain times. I mean, name the player. Name any good isolation player. And generally, if Lexi Hall is not the one guarding them, and Lord knows we all would love to see Michaela Timpson get a chance to do something, because I believe from what I've seen from her at FSU, she probably is a really good defender. But overall, how good can a defense possibly be when you got 2.5 maybe good defenders? So
I agree.
Yeah,
I,
That sucks.
I agree with that.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think that
I'm just trying to make it the point is that the players don't do that. The coaches should make them do that. My point was that there's not many players, but the players coming up, the ones that are coming from college now, they're playing faster ball. They're in better shape compared to what these middle to older players are playing.
Who
That was
started that?
that was my point. Is that CC's going to run in because those older players can't run, it's never going to work.
well, that's where bad decision went up top. Bad up top decisions.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe there's some truth to that too, where it's like some players have lazy habits. Like we don't see everybody's behind the scenes, but a lot of the players will be told, yes, some of them have very lazy habits. In the off season, they don't push as hard, they don't practice hard. Everybody don't have that type of motor. They living off of talent.
Yeah, but it's their job.
Again, though, but what the coach could do at the bare minimum, you could be doing conditioning drills with these players a lot, but every coach has a different way of approaching things.
Well, that's a perfect. If you're talking in season, yeah. Out of season, you have to have it among as yourself. You're a pro.
Yeah.
The teams don't have this. There's no conditioning drills for professionals in the off season. Like you gotta care about being better and care about becoming a player.
Unless you're CC.
When it's like Sabali complaining, our games are too close together. It's because she's out of shape.
Sack.
She's lazy and she's out of shape.
Well, she was a lazy sack and unrivaled. She didn't want to play hard there to play hard there either.
But that's what I'm saying. It's just it's not this. It's not the same. It's just and that's just like CC. She's not a half court player. She plays a full and she plays a full court. And White knows that.
But she's gonna have to adjust too, Lindy. Cece's gonna have to make some adjustments.
But no. Because look, the four or the five, the four players that played with her last season can play with her that way. When some of the bench comes on, what they do is they don't go all the way down the court. Some of them don't, and they stay a little more towards the half court so they can get down to the court by the time CC gets there. There's also I haven't even seen them play where they're down there and and the player takes off down there without anybody seeing them, and then when they're playing defense, against the other team on the other end, and the ball's thrown to a player down the court. You don't even see that on the Fever team now.
Where the coach needs to adjust to CC.
Yeah, and
but Stephanie White's not a good coach. Stephanie White's not a good coach.
Stephanie White is an okay coach, but like she's okay for one thing.
She's not even okay. She's not even okay. The Vanderbilt
her defensive. I called her the Tom Thibodeau of women's basketball, right?
That's a massive compliment. Goddamn.
She's okay. She's okay. She's okay when she takes over a team that's already been built. Like I said, when I saw her at Vanderbilt, I like that one. All this defense, they didn't have none of that type of stuff. She gets back to Connecticut, and what she did like the last couple of years, it made people forget. You know what I'm saying? It made people forget on how bad she was at Vanderbilt, and the narrative with Vanderbilt is Vanderbilt, this, and this. Well, Shea Rafton came down there and got the team. I'm not saying they just this extraordinary team, but look at the progression she has already made to what Stephanie White was doing. You know what I'm saying? So she just won the war. She with the Connecticut team, that method worked with them because it was a slower team, a scrappy team. When you got a player like Alyssa Thomas, who could more like the heart and soul, you can do that with that type of team. But this Indiana team, oh hell no. Nah. You know what I'm saying? Nah. It was starting to show. I think it started to show that first loss against Atlanta, where the big three all balled out. But I'm like, what going on with these other players? And she wasn't making no type of adjustments to Atlanta. So I was like, okay, whatever. I said, I was just hoping that was one game, but it kept going on.
I think there's a couple of things you could point to. I don't know if anybody else had a point, but I think there's a couple of things you could point to. Well, if I wanted to continue, if I had to say, I think a couple of things you could point to with the problematic thing I see when CC is on the court, for the most part, it's only 3 people really getting involved in the offense. And I don't mind you having your 2 spot-up shooters there in the corners, right? sometimes they're not really touching your Lexi Hall or whoever else they're on the court. But when you have that when you have that lineup, I think it's one of the better lineups. Hall, Cunningham, Mitchell, CC, and AB on the court because they move a little bit better pace and floor spacing all over. And AB, I do like AB is starting to try to take more threes now, even though she's not necessarily a 3-point shooter, but the pace is a little bit better. It's more conducive to what they want to do, where it's like Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston and CC is the only ones really touching the rock, right? Sophie Cunningham and Lexi are perfectly fine going sit in the corner and just catching and shooting. Cool. When you got Natasha Howard on that court, though, she's like, she's in the way. She's in the way. You know?
Okay. I do not understand how a person supposedly can miss that many layups. I mean, just chucking it up. I mean, when you watch that layup go up from Howard and it goes.
That was the one, right? That was the one at the beginning of the second half, I think it was, where she airballed it from wide open.
I am an old woman. I could make that shot.
Because they're not leaving off the ground, Mindy. They're not jumping off the ground. They're not jumping off the ground.
It's not even that. Even if she chucked up the ball even close to hitting the square on the backboard, she might get it in, you know? Look at the way that she chucks the ball up.
Hey, Mindy.
There's no intention of getting that ball in the basket.
Check this out. You remember last game against Seattle on that break? And I thought Lexi Hall was about to blow that layup. Because she could have just easily finger rolled it in. She took a full stop. I'm like, why you do that?
You didn't think that was awesome skill right there?
Man, listen, I thought she was about to break. I said
she did a jump stop for a fucking fast break layup.
Yeah, she did a jump stop. I think folks here, I don't understand. We're talking about they say these are the best of the best when it comes to women. So much of this highly level, and it kind of disturbs me. And that's why you have folks like me, Root, and others, how we'll talk about Kennedy Carter in a way, because you really want seeing that in her. She has different issues, but when it comes to stuff like that, that's the most annoying thing, because like, how tall is Howard? 6'3", 6'4"?
She's 6'2". She's 6'2".
6'2". Okay, I'm sorry. All right, but still, I still think that the layups that she missed, man, I'd be like, what in the world? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, whatever, man.
You know, when you watch at halftime and you see these little kids running down the court shooting a basketball, they shoot better than Howard making a layup.
Did Howard get better? Has Howard got better at her free throw shooting?
That's another thing. That's another thing that bothers me. Like, how y'all missing so many
free throws? Yeah,
especially y'all that shoot all these mid-range jump shots, all these threes, and y'all miss that. And it blows my mind.
That's a basic
all you spot-up shooters miss your free throws. Come on now.
That's a basic skill.
Man, this, to be honest with you, this Indiana team.
It's not just Fever; it's a lot of the teams.
Oh yeah. It's not just the Fever. We just on the Fever right now. You're right. That is across the board. It's some players that go to the free throw line that you be like, yeah, they should be 8 out of 10. And then you got some up there that you just know is gonna be bricks. You know what I'm saying? You just know. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
As much as Breonna Stewart goes to the line, she's very efficient. She missed some occasionally, but give her 15 of them, she gonna make 12.
What is Breonna Stewart is normally like? She's normally like upper 70s in her free throw percentage, right, or lower 80s?
Nah, I'd have to look that up. But I remember last game I watched, she was 10 of 16. She was 10. But people was bugging out more so that how'd she go to the line 16 times, but she know
how to put herself on the line. I mean, like, prime example, or like, now I can say somebody like Della Dunn, like whenever she went to the line, I'd be shocked that she missed a free throw. I like, I mean, if nobody's 100%, but in the back of your mind, like, oh, she got these. You know what I'm saying? But
even seeing CC missing, because like last season she was close to 90%, and then this season coming in, you start seeing her missing free throws. You're like, hold up, that's not.
Yeah.
You see you missing free. What is going on here?
I wonder. I
had a question. Okay.
Hang on a second. I wonder if the W, because this is a conspiracy thing here, the referees can slow down a game. So even if the Fever were to try to run and gun, I think the referees could have a say in how well you can run and gun.
Because,
I mean, what's that? How in the hell?
The clock stopped working.
How in the hell does Cece, the way as much as she was hammered in that game, not get to the free throw line one time during the entire game? She was having the shit beat out of her.
Yeah.
How did she not get to the free throw line?
When they played the Aces had 21 free throws, and I think the Fever had 9.
A lot of people would say it's because the Fever don't attack the basket or attack in the mid range.
She didn't have to. She's getting attacked out on the court. She doesn't have to go to the basket.
Shoot, Kelsey Mitchell normally attacks. Now the way she lay it up at times could throw you off, but besides, I know we get a kick out of saying she does a lot of like throw up some shots like Cece does, but Mitchell, when she get that ball in her hand, if she see any type of little opening, she gonna try to think it's a hole going through like a running back, and she gonna go for it. Now, if she's getting the foul or not, that's a whole different ball game. My one thing I want to ask, this is another player. We talked about Kelsey Plum earlier. So when she came in the league back, I'm just gonna ask y'all this question. So she came in the league in 2017 when she got drafted by Stars, or now the Aces. So we know Bill Laimbeer was the coach and everything. Do you think that, like, we knew what she could do offensively, but when she came in the league, and I told people this, she was very bad defensively, because when she was at Washington, she never really had to play defense. It is what it is. But at the same time, Laimbeer wasn't just letting her just go out there and just do whatever. You think, like, with the starting off her career under Laimbeer actually was the best thing for her career?
Hell yeah.
That's
yeah, because Kelsey Plum didn't have to play any defense in college. She didn't play any defense, but she's made herself a good defensive player. Like, that's the thing. I mean, no one's asking Caitlin Clark to be a great defensive player,
right?
But you have to want to play defense, and that's part of the game. I mean, there was a point in time. People have to be real. Like, Michael Jordan was the defensive player of the year and the MVP in the same year. He was a first-team All-NBA defensive player for pretty much his entire career. We have to stop acting like this, because you have offense, that you can be allergic to defense, because you can score. And that's why James Harden sucks, in my opinion, because he's never given a shit about it. And that's why he's a perpetual loser. You know, and that's a big issue. You have to give a shit a little bit about it. You know, LeBron James, now today he doesn't play any defense because the guy can't run. I mean, look, the guy's 40 years old.
He's 40, yeah.
But when he was in his prime, the man was an elite defensive player and an elite offensive player. It's like you have to have that want to. You have to have that want to. When I watch some of these mistakes on the ball defense, I cringe. And they have them on every player's got them. Every player on this team has got them. They've all got issues. Kelsey Mitchell can't guard a parked car. Aaliyah Boston can't guard a parked car. Caitlin can't guard a parked car. But my problem with Caitlin in those last 3 games, which is why I know she's not right, is that she wasn't even trying. Like, it was, okay,
she was just out there
done. You beat me, I'm done. I'm not even going to follow you. I'm not trying. And that is not good. That's not good.
I'm wondering though if in part because you hear a lot of people say a lot the Fever have a terrible whistle. Like, even at times where they seem like they played good defense, hands up, Aaliyah Boston in the paint, and they just get a terrible call, right? Terrible calls getting called them. I'm wondering though if either the conversation that they've been having personally is like, yo, we can't even touch nobody, so don't bother. If that's also some internal conversation they're having going on.
Yeah, but you can't.
Like, just try to defend and don't touch nobody.
Even if that is true, you can't play that way. Even if that's true, you cannot play that way. Fever already knows that they're not going to get the whistle. Okay, Fever already knows that. It's just like in this fourth quarter. I knew if they were not up by 15, they were going to lose this game because they were not going to get any whistles in the fourth quarter. The other team doesn't matter who the team is, and they have to play through it. They just know that's going to happen, so get over it. There's
They have
not
to blow
until
out every team.
But yo, those phantom calls though, it gotta like
They have to blow out every team.
I'm gonna give you a comment on the defense. This shit does not mean it's not a foul.
right.
Like they have to get out of their minds that because you just put your hands up in the air, it's not a foul. Because if you're moving your body into them while they're shooting, it's a foul.
It's a foul. Yeah.
Because that play on Kelsey Mitchell at the end against Kelsey Plum, that was a foul. And she acted like she did nothing because she had her hands up. It was the same play against Sabrina Ionescu with Lexi Hall. It was a foul. And every referee I've talked to said that was a foul. Because just because you do this, you cannot move into their airspace. You can't do it. And this team, for whatever reason, every time they do this, they're moving into somebody, and then they go, "Oh my God!" And of course, Leah Boston's an expert of it. Like, no, standing still means standing still. It doesn't mean that you're moving.
Hey,
into
Root.
them. Go ahead.
Hey, Rudy, Aaliyah Boston of all those is the most surprising because actually, I actually thought she was a better defender than what she does. I can understand Clark and Mitchell though, because like I said, they really never really had to play defense, and a lot of people. I mean, Clark been in the league since 2018, but because Indiana been so bad, ain't nobody really just paid attention to him. But now a lot of eyes on Indiana and people are seeing this. You know what I'm saying? So this ain't new for Mitchell. Mitchell ain't never really played defense, really. I mean, but when the spotlight ain't on you as an Indiana at the time, then people really wasn't just. I mean, they had a fan base, but like the TV networks and stuff. I mean, really, they really wasn't. You really wasn't starting to see Indiana games more until they got Aaliyah Boston. So you're talking all the way from 2018 all the way to 22, I think. Yeah. So that's how I look at it.
If you blow them out, you take the referees out of the equation.
But you got to hit your shot. You got to hit your layups. You got to hit your free throws.
And that's when you
when the opportunities exist. I think they be missing layups too now. The
running gun. It takes.
You still got to hit your shot.
I'm sorry. Hey, Vonda, go watch the play. Vonda, go watch the play again. Kelsey Mitchell fouled Kelsey Plum. It was clear as day. It was clear as day. Kelsey Mitchell fouled her. You can go watch it again. They showed the replay over and over again. They even reviewed it. It was a foul on Kelsey Mitchell. It wasn't even a conversation.
And these players know this, and that's part of the scouting report. They know how Indiana players are going to be timid on their individual defense. So it gets to a point like, they start attacking them. Yeah, well, normally when Indiana blows these leads, teams just start attacking them. Start attacking the basket. And then once the lead gets chopped, now you got to see how can they fight through it. And they not fighting through it. They just sinking every time. So. But I get what you say. You got blown.
All this. Huh? I was about to say all this is supposed to be a physical league, so on and so forth. Though they're not letting them put no hand. They call in touch fouls a lot of the times. So
everybody can be physical except Indiana.
There are some valid foul calls, right? But all this supposed to be a physical league stuff. If the players, if these women athletes aren't as vertical as say a Jonathan Isaac, where I'm gonna go above the rim and swatch and sit back to the second row. Right, you got to let them at least body up a little bit of something, but they will literally call touch fouls, phantom fouls, and I'm like, yeah, I can see that being this disheartening to some players. Like, no matter what I do, you're gonna blow the whistle. You know what I mean? So I might as well back up with my hands up away from you. And I mean, somebody who's competent enough to make a layup is getting it.
Yeah, they gotta make the layup first, though.
Yeah, but you can't play that way. You can't have that mindset.
You can't really.
I mean, that's just.
But they don't get called foul.
There are a lot of ghost fouls.
There's a lot of ghost fouls. They're calling.
I'm not saying that there's not. I'm not saying that there's not. But it's going to be that way, and it's not going to change.
That's why you're running gun.
These guys, and it's going to be that way, and it's not going to change.
Well.
Running them out of the building.
I don't know. Dog, when do they play Minnesota in this Commissioner Cup thing?
July 1st.
July 1st.
Man, I think they're gonna get ran off the floor, man.
They will. Of course they are.
I mean, because I don't even care for Cheryl Reed, but one thing, Cheryl Reed, you gonna give it that effort, or your ass ain't coming off that bench. I just don't see. I don't see how Whoever got to guard Courtney Williams, I don't see how that's going to happen. I think whoever got to go.
There's a comment here. Here comes Rudy defending the refs. Listen right here. If you don't watch a game besides the Indiana Fever, you cannot speak on the referees. Seriously. If you're not watching other teams, they can all complain about the same shit you are complaining about. The officiating in the WNBA is atrocious.
It is.
So continuing to sit here and act like it's anything different with this team, it's the same shit across the league. They literally bitch and moan in every city with every team. So when the Sparks go play the Chicago Sky, what happens? They're bitching about refs. The Sky's bitching about the refs. The Lynx are bitching about the refs against the Liberty. The Liberty are bitching about the refs against the Lynx. Like it's a freaking cesspool of shit. So these phantom fouls, for Christ's sakes, Brianna Stewart traveled right in front of a referee in Game 5 with 5 seconds to go, and they did not call it. And everybody on the planet saw it.
Yes. But it's not going to change.
We're going to sit here and every single day, the referees are not giving us the calls. Holy shit. If you live your life worrying about weak-ass calls and calls from referees, that is why you're the team you are. And if that's what they're worried about on a day-to-day basis, they're weak as shit and they're soft. And that's what it comes down to.
Hey,
I'm sorry. Watch other games. I promise you. Hey. Watch other games, people. You're going to see the same shit in every game. But you have no invested interest in it, so you're not going to really feel it. You only feel it because you feel it because it's your team.
I guess Plum got the crap.
You brought up Bill Laimbeer earlier, and this was a separate conversation I had with somebody somewhere else. All due respect to Stephanie White, but I really believe not to be a separationist. They need somebody like a Bill Laimbeer, just like a Lovie Smith, a Mike Singletary type of coach to come up in here, feelings out of it. Look, we come to train, we come to win. I ain't here for all that extra soft lovey-dovey shit.
All due respect.
Yeah.
The politics of the league is not going to let that happen. I discussed it. The politics of the league is not going to let that type of coach come in here. If it's going to be a male coach, he's going to be soft around the edges. Either that or they're going to have female coach.
Bill Laimbeer wasn't soft around the edges, though.
No. I'm talking about now. I'm talking about now. When Bill Laimbeer, it wasn't in WNBA, wasn't in that type of movement back then. I'm talking about now. And the only who the hard-nosed female coaches, the hard-nosed female coach, I would put Cheryl Reed number one. Probably I say Becky. Grandello probably. You know what I'm saying? But they're gonna want Stephanie White is at the bottom. And what I mean, I'm not saying the worst coach. What I'm saying is she's gonna be too nice. And if you're too nice, then you're not on a player's ass like how Bill Laimbeer would be, because Bill Laimbeer, I guarantee you, used to get on Asia's ass. He used to get on Kelsey Plum ass. I guarantee he got on Jackie Young's ass. But once they got together, cohesiveness, and was able to play defense together, then the individual offensive skills and then team offense, it all came together. You know what I'm saying? But I feel what you're saying. They do need that type of ear. But the problem is the politics of the league. I ain't gonna let that happen. They're gonna bring another yes man, or they'll bring a yes woman that's soft on them, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to think most of these recent champions, have been coached by a team with a hard-nosed coach. Even James Ray was a horrible general manager for the Sky, but he was on their ass though. But plus it helps having Candace Parker too, because Candace Parker was that leader. But you know what I'm saying? I can't think of a recent champion where that coach was like, kind of like, nice. So I just don't see it
right now that just came into the league. I don't know too much about them, but you just look at the way that they carry themselves. Carlos Mesco for the Dream, and he's changed up the way they're handling business. And Sydney Johnson for the Mystics. Again, not just because they're two gentlemen, but again, the way men are gonna handle the situation is they're gonna try to be as professional as possible. You know what I mean? And they don't necessarily always get too emotionally involved because that's not necessarily their nature. You know what I mean? But just look at the way that Carlos Mesco is handling the Dream. You know what I mean? And he's even encouraging Brianna Jones to take at least 2 threes a game. That's out the box different.
My only comment, I have a comment for that, is that with the Atlanta Dream, they did first. Ryan Howard missed a lot of games last year. Jordan Canada missed half the season last year, and they did add 2 monsters down low. and that's
Yeah.
changed them a lot. They have added monsters down low, which I mean, people can dismiss Brittany Griner all day. If you could get me Brittany Griner with the Indiana, I would take her in a
I
second.
would take her in a minute.
She's a monster. She changes a team, and she has made those guards look awesome. Even with Ryan Howard's once, every other day going 3 for 22. Like Alicia, look at Alicia Gray's difference this year. I mean, open look, they're open all day long because of how big they are. And they dominate around the basket.
Yeah,
And no, I'm not taking away from what he's done, but he's benefited from two massive human beings down low. That if you put those two, and that's why I thought Atlanta would be good. You put those two players with the guards they had. You got some.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't foresee him playing Bree Jones as a power forward. I thought he was gonna rotate them on and off, and in a way he still is because he's staggering.
I think that's brilliant.
Brittany Griner's minutes a lot more than Bree Jones, so they're not always playing heavy minutes together.
Exactly.
But you know what?
Game, I did not see that.
Brittany Griner's been playing terrible against Indiana though. I don't know what Indiana be doing to her because didn't she foul out
the first game they played, both of them. The first game that Indiana played against Atlanta, that was 91-90, and Bree Jones and Brittany Griner completely dominated the game. Now I think it was the next game where Brittany Griner stunk, and the last game. I mean, the size. There's a size issue for Indiana.
Oh yeah. You've been saying go get Kalani Brown, but
I don't care how slow people think she is. You need someone 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", who's going to punch someone in the fucking throat.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like that Kalani Brown.
Would you take Tierra McCowan?
Fuck yeah.
I mean, because Tierra she be kind of lazy out there.
You know what? You're giving me 6 fouls from someone 6'7", who should
I got
around the rim, and around the rim is a 65% field goal percentage. I mean, she's not going to miss a lot around the rim. You just saw what happened tonight. That final minute.
I saw that.
The inability to rebound was unreal.
Man, missed free throw, offensive rebound, and one. Oh, she missed the free throw, offensive rebound, and one. That was the game. Game over. Go sleep. Go sleep.
I'll put it to you like this: there may be a very few teams that would either put your big in pick and roll action to where you have to worry about a switch situation, or having a big that will stretch the floor like Azare would, Asia Wilson occasionally in the feed. But I mean, like true big, like those Alana Smiths and Azares that will literally stretch the floor. That's what they do very well. So having a big like Tierra McCown, I don't see it being a problem playing against a team like the Sky, playing against. Well, I would say
they don't have issues with the Sky.
The Mercury will spread the floor too. Playing the Dream. The Dream are definitely going to be a top 3, top 4 team, right? And playing against the Storm. Ezzy Magabor don't really pull threes like that. You know what I'm saying? So having somebody that big could be a deterrent for teams who are contending. Like three or four of the top contending teams I can see.
Lambier was coach in the WNBA as late as 2021. Engelbert was commissioner since 2019. So when did it become soft?
Man, they're not. I'm telling you, the league is not going.
Lambier.
Oh, when did the league become soft?
That's what I'm saying, because Lambier was a coach up until 2021, and Engelbert, the current soft commissioner, has been commissioner since 2019. So when did it become soft?
Shit, I don't know. But I'm just saying the politics of the league ain't gonna let like another coach like a Lambier come in there. I just don't see it. I'll be shocked.
He was during.
But when did he start though? When did he start?
He was a coach while Engelbert, the current softie, was commissioner. So at some point between 2021 and now, Kathy Engelbert became a joke.
I agree. No. I agree with you on that. I don't see why Bill Lambier couldn't be a coach again. That just doesn't make sense.
Well, I have to see it. I don't believe it.
He's already a legacy coach. He's already a legacy coach.
Won in the WNBA. That's like preposterous that you're sitting here telling
me. No, I'm just saying.
Not allow him to coach. Like, come on now.
I'm just saying. I don't think the politics of the league. I'm just saying the politics of the league.
What's the
man? I'm telling you, hear me out, y'all. They hire a coach like that, you're gonna hear people bitching. Oh, why they hire another male coach? Why they the black woman coach? This. I'm telling you, man. It's. I just don't see it. If it happens, it happens, and I say, yo, I'm wrong. I go to the show and say I'm wrong, but I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
All I can say is you gotta make it hard for somebody to complain. Let's say, for example, because I'd say it's just me, just the way I was raised. I'm like, yo, bump all your complaints and excuses, right? If I go say and get what's the dude, JB Bickerstaff, right? Former NBA head coach, and I get him on a WNBA roster to coach, right? What would your complaint be? Like, who would you say is more qualified? Somebody, not to throw shots at anybody, but somebody who say they want a job and never coached before, but they coached in the big three. You put the 2 and 2 together in your head, or somebody who is a developmental coach.
Just say Lisa Leslie. I got what you said. Say Lisa Leslie. Go ahead. Yeah,
but Lisa Leslie's not coached for 5 seconds, so like that's comparing an apple to an orange. Like the Lisa Leslie whole conversation with that shit where she's like, I went to 2 places, they didn't want to give me a job, and I'm done. Well, fuck you then, Lisa. Go get a job as an assistant. Earn your keep. Coaching big 3 retired NBA players, that doesn't make you a WNBA coach. Dealing with these petty ass women.
But in their mind, they think they're mine because they was a legend as a player. People automatically assume they probably could coach. No, but I'm just saying. But
what was, man? You remember when Magic Johnson tried to coach?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Horrendous at it. Like, what do we like? This mentality that you were a player so you can coach? Fuck no. You can't, man. My best friend is one of my best friends. Won 7 state championships in Florida high school boys basketball. The man didn't even play basketball in high school. Played football. He played football in college. Coaching is coaching. You have to have a skill. People think coaching isn't a skill, man. That is a major skill to be able to deal with bitch ass personalities. Like the fact that Eric Spoelstra, Pat Riley, LeBron tried to have Eric Spoelstra fired his first year. Eric Spoelstra is now the longest tenured coach in the NBA. You know, like this is silliness. This shit. When Lisa Leslie said that shit, she showed me who she was. She showed me who she was because she doesn't believe in working for the position. She doesn't believe in the work.
Well, a lot of them don't. Rudy.
Hold on. Flint Pistons fan, fuck you too.
yeah. A lot of them don't, Rudy. A lot of them don't, Rudy. But in this social media world, these folks they think it just because they did this in the past that they automatically can qualify them for this without nothing on the resume. And we've seen it. You see it more on the college level where it doesn't work, but on the pro, you don't see it that much on the pro level. You know what I'm saying? I just want to just go back on the Laimbeer thing. I just don't see it happening. I would like for it to happen, especially for a team like Indiana, because I
think he's retired. He's retired.
No, I mean not just Laimbeer, but I'm talking about any coach, that type of coach. That type of coach. That's what I'm saying. That type of coach. That hard-nosed mentality that's gonna get in their ass, that's not gonna be out in their feelings, that's not trying to be their friend, that's trying to get them better as a team. I just don't see it because all it takes is one of them to start crying and be like, I'm gonna take some personal time. It could be anybody, and then it can just go left field. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree with you.
That's the reason why I say that. That's why I say
that. I understand the thinking, but this is why I gave the example where I'm gonna take all your excuses and throw them clean out the window. Anybody would have a problem if I go and hire somebody who's willing to come in, who has the resume, right? Whether it be a man, like that's why I use the JB Bickerstaff, or let's say Dennis Scott, any male who's already coached at a certain level. Maybe he's out of a job, right? And he fits that profile and he has a coaching resume and he was decent in his tenure. I take all your excuses and I crumble them up, throw them in the toilet. What can you say?
I got a good name for one.
The dude that coached in the Big Three, Phil Handy, who coached in the NBA for how many years? Why didn't anyone call him to be a head coach in the WNBA? Man's actually coached at the highest levels as an assistant coach in the NBA.
Yeah.
Well, WNBA doesn't pay any money to coach, though.
That too.
But did Unrivaled? Did they really? No, they're making $500,000 to $1 million. Some of them. I mean, a lot of them.
Yeah, but that's Unrivaled. I'm talking about the WNBA.
Yeah.
No, Christy Sides made $500,000 last year coaching. Phil Handy's more than he's making right now. He's not doing shit.
Hey, I got an idea.
He still has his little training camp. He still trains players this, that, and the third. But even Phil Handy's a good one. But I could use your guy from the Mercury, Nate Tibbetts, right? He used to be an assistant in the NBA, right? And you just see the way that he adjusts, he coaches his team year in and year out with the personnel that he has. Like he just knows a bunch of schemes, useless schemes for no reason. You know what I mean? Not saying that he's like the ultimate example, but hell,
I was thinking Jeff Walsh.
You got prior experience. That just, to me, that takes away any complaint. It becomes a problem when I go take somebody because they're not gonna, and they say they, but there's possibilities. Let's say Lisa Leslie wants the job and you go hire somebody else who has no experience. They're going to lose their shit. But let's say I go hire Mark Jackson. What can you say? What can you say? I hired Mike Jackson. What can you say?
Mark Jackson? They ain't getting him.
What can you say? If I go be like, okay, they'll be like, oh, he said this. Well, not even say Mark, but another player.
I get what you're saying.
Player who's coached, former player who's coached. What can you say? When somebody who wants the job, say a former WNBA great, never coached before, say Cynthia Cooper want to coach. All right.
Oh, hell no.
We got Dennis Scott. Dennis Scott said he'll come coach the team. Well, hell, I'm taking Dennis Scott.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, Cynthia Cooper tried it at college. I don't even want man. Y'all, you go do the research on that. Y'all gonna laugh y'all ass off. But
that goes back to that goes back to people thinking that they can coach and that is something.
She was bullying players. Wait, no.
You're thinking of Cheryl Swoops, not
Swoop,
Cynthia Cooper.
No. Cynthia Cooper was doing the same thing. Hey, do some research on it. I knew somebody down in Texas. I knew somebody in Texas that played for her. She talked so bad about her. I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, look at it. Yeah, Cynthia Cooper accused of abuse.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Demeaning sexual language, man. Fuck these pussies.
And then I got another. I got another idea. You the coach of Louisville, Jeff Walsh, but I don't think he'll never leave college.
I'm sorry. So Texas Southern players did not like a Hall of Fame player cursing at them.
Hey, man, like I said, so just imagine if it's a dude. Imagine if it's a dude doing it.
You ain't getting away with it. Like that's what I'm saying. Right, they had to kind of let it slide because it's Cheryl Swoops.
Oh, listen. I'm sorry, I gotta read this. Cynthia Cooper said she will be all right. She just needs some dick. That's all. She called the same player a sorry ass virgin. She told another one, "Get the fuck out of my gym. Go home, you sorry ass bitch. You're a nobody." That's normal. Ooh, your hips are big. You got a fat ass, and I can tell you like to ride some dick. Oh my God.
That's what Cynthia Cooper was saying.
Now listen.
Cynthia Cooper.
Yeah, she was saying that. Yes. Yes. And the guy said that on the road. Now I don't think no male coach.
That's the link right there. Oh my God.
Yeah. Like the effing virgin one is funny, but they say you look like you riding now. That you going OD now.
No, I'm not listening. Cynthia Cooper was strong arming them girls down there in Texas, so she was real strong arm. And I know somebody down in Houston, a female that that talks very bad about Cooper. I like what they like. You'll read on it, and then I read that stuff. I was laughing at it. Wow. Now we know a male coach ain't gonna make no comments like that. We know that. But what I'm saying is they will say something to get in their ass, and one might get in their feelings. Now, like I said, I was thinking of Jeff Walsh out of Louisville, but I don't think he'll leave Louisville. But I actually like the way how he coaches. You know what I'm saying? He's been in Louisville for a while, so. Mm-hmm. But
I just learned that about Cynthia Cooper, man.
Yeah. Like I said, man, and it'd be funny. At least he said, how Rudy, how you said something, but then you did the research. I could tell some people that, and they won't do no research, and they'll throw up and down. I'm just making up a narrative. I like, dude, the research is right there. Just how you gotta do is just Google it.
My bad. Byron Scott from the Lakers. B. Scott from the Lakers.
We need a Bobby Knight.
Hell no.
Bobby Knight. Oh man. Women would cry. They would cry. Now you really trying to make them cry. He gonna throw a chair at the wall and he gonna lose his job. I said, run it again.
You know what? That's how you actually get better at basketball. Run it again.
Yeah,
Run it again. Run it again.
Coach, I need
Damn
some
right.
Gatorade. Get your Gatorade and run with it in your hand.
Dude,
run with your cup in your hand.
He'd put
He's
that
a cup player,
commissioner in her
like
place.
That's wild. Jesus.
You got it yet?
Oh my goodness. Anyhow, folks, I appreciate everyone jumping on tonight, man. We're 2.5 hours, and I'm about to go watch Love Island with my wife.
Oh.
That's a guilty, addictive pleasure. I was up till 6 o'clock in the morning watching that shit yesterday. Yeah, if you haven't watched it yet, yeah, it makes you more and more dumb by the day.
Is
What was
CC
that?
playing tomorrow?
Hell no.
Only softies are the only.
If CC plays tomorrow,
You're not gonna be on tomorrow.
no, tomorrow night. I'm
I don't think she's playing tomorrow.
I don't think there's any way she plays tomorrow. I think if they play her, they're out of their minds. Because I do believe she's hurt, and I think.
Oh, I think yeah.
Yeah,
I think if she play, I think Carrington gonna tackle her. I think Carrington gonna actually tackle her.
Did Carrington play the last game she played? I thought Carrington missed the game, the most recent game actually as well. Because when did they play? They played.
I just know when.
Let me see. They played on Tuesday, and Carrington did not play. Maybe she has personal reasons.
I hate that. I hate that saying now. I don't ever want to hear personal reasons.
Nah, she's saving up that energy for CC. She was saving up. She's trying to make sure every joint and ligament is together because she's ready. I mean, I'm talking if CC was playing and she was going for a layup, I'm carrying. CC probably would have bricked the layup, thinking that Carrington gonna come down with that on forearm, which she will do, and she'll do. And she'll look at the other female players like, "What y'all gonna do? Y'all ain't gonna do shit." You know what I'm saying? And she gonna with the ponytail. With the mane, with the long mane in the back, y'all ain't gonna do shit.
Well,
and I'm gonna do it again until they kick me out of here.
If Caitlin would just take her elbow and smash it in her face once or twice, I think that would help.
Yeah.
She's too nice.
Whoa, Lindy, you want to fight now? You said you didn't want her to punch somebody in the face. You told me that.
I don't want her to punch, but an elbow will be fine.
Rudy, you didn't read my last comment that I sent to you.
Oh, what was it?
I told you that at this point, I'm gonna say that I was wrong, and she needs to stand up.
Let's go.
She needs to elbow, not hurt her hands.
I'm rubbing off on people.
Don't hurt your shooting hands. Elbow her in the nose.
If it would have been me, I would have decked them a long time ago. It wouldn't even got past last year.
Kick her.
You're violent. Okay.
But no, I just don't take the crap. But
put a Draymond Green on her.
But I think she could do it, inconspicuously on purpose.
No, Lindy, I'm at the point. Lindy, I'm at the point now. Nah, she could just be straight up, even if it costs her getting kicked out of a game or something. No, listen, it's gonna have to be a point.
If CC throws an elbow and hits somebody in the face, she's gonna be thrown out of the game. So,
I'm saying? Yeah, it's gonna have to get to a point because they're just gonna keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna keep doing it. Like I said, if I'm the parent, if I'm a father or something like that, I'm like, listen, I understand you might lose, you might get kicked out and lose a game. But if you do that, you stand up for yourself, you really mean something. The team should look at you. The team should look at you different. You get back because you know what I'm saying. Sophie ain't gonna be there all the time. Sophie ain't gonna be there or Lex, and we know these other ones ain't gonna do it. We saw in that Seattle game. Then we see when what's the name? Necker went down there the whole damn FIBA team. Try, hey, you doing all right now? I don't know if because she the union president or something, you know what I'm saying? But I like, damn, she's not even on your team. Like, so I'm looking at it like, yo, she's gonna have to. I don't care who. It doesn't matter who it's against. You know what I'm saying? It could be against.
After what happened with Connecticut, I think coaches were told that they need to show more sportsmanship. That's why they're helping people up, and they're doing. Usually, they just walk away. I honestly believe that something was said because there's the next game. I watched players. It wasn't even the Fever. Watch players helping other players up all the time.
It wasn't the Fever. It wasn't helping the Fever. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I was just saying. I was watching other teams
I get what you're saying.
helping other teams. And Rudy, I wanted to ask you this because this is. I know I watch a lot of basketball, not just the Fever, and in my observation, I always see teams, even though Fever's playing bad, they always play their best against the Fever.
They do.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to know if I thought, am I just being,
Yeah, the Sparks suck. The Sparks suck.
you know,
And they may have played their best second half. They probably played their best quarter of the year in the fourth tonight.
yeah.
I don't understand why the Sparks suck though. I'm kind of this.
Well,
I'm
they've
thrown off with it.
been ravaged by injuries. They've been
How-
all over the place with the injuries.
How y'all think about Lynn Roberts? How you think about Lynn Roberts as their coach? I mean, the way she
I
just
don't
left
know.
Utah kind of threw me off. But
Yeah, I mean, but they've been ravaged by injuries. I don't want to get any more topics, folks. I gotta get going.
Okay.
All
Oh,
right.
by the way,
All right.
Love Island's on Peacock. So just Boru, you asked about where Love Island is. It's on Peacock. Anyhow, folks, I appreciate y'all jumping on board. I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow night after the game. I haven't decided. I'm supposed to go to an event, actually. No, I'm really supposed to go to an event for work. So we'll see, but it could change. Anyhow, definitely Sunday Night Heat, and I will be live on Saturday night for UFC, whatever the hell it is, 317 International Fight Week. So I will be live for that. Come jump on board if you want to enjoy that with me as well.
Is that a pay-per-view or is it going to be
It's a
free?
pay-per-view. UFC is pay-per-view. Yeah, UFC is pay-per-view on
Well,
Saturday.
I get UFC at home, but they're not all paid.
No, this one's pay-per-view. This one's a pay-per-view. So it will
Good
be
night,
on
everybody.
the big card. But appreciate everybody. Thank y'all so
Deuces.
much for jumping on board. And I will see you tomorrow, Saturday. God bless. Come on now.